Looks like Jordan Henderson's making a return to the Premier League. The former Liverpool captain's moving to London, more specifically Brentford. He became a free agent this week after leaving Ajax, but couldn't return to the Prem until the 1st of July due to Saudi tax reasons. Alan Pardew thinks this is an inspired move from the Bees.
They know that the performances Henderson's put in at Ajax have been of the level. Okay, they wouldn't take him otherwise. But the added bonus, of course, is the leadership that he brings. You know, with Norgard going on to the Arsenal, it seems like a perfect replacement to me.
Meanwhile, Daniel Levy's been getting busy this transfer window. Tottenham have secured Mohamed Kudus, and now Morgan Gibbs-White is on the way. It's thought the 25-year-old will complete his medical later on today. talkSPORT's chief football correspondent Alex Crook reckons the Spurs owner means business.
Obviously, what he's doing here that he didn't do when they reached the Champions League final is he's capitalising on that success, and he's trying to build from a position of strength, having just won that Europa League title. Guaranteed Champions League football for next season. I don't think Mohamed Kudus would have gone there were they not in the Champions League.
You can find all the latest transfer news at talksport.com. Liverpool's friendly against Preston will go ahead this weekend, with plans underway to pay tribute to Diogo Jota and Andre Silva after their passing. A minute's silence will be observed, with digital tributes put on display. Both sets of players will be wearing black armbands. And weak and feeble is how David Campazzi's described the Lions, saying they lack the spark to strike fear into the Wallabies.
You've lost Daly, who was playing very good rugby. Kinghorn's injured. You haven't got that flair like Driscoll in the back line or someone like that, But again, it's if he doesn't play, I think you guys are in a bit of trouble.
Blair Kinghorn is touch and go for the Lions after he sprained his knee. talkSPORT will have you covered when the Lions take on Australia and New Zealand's combined 15 tomorrow morning from 10 a.m.
Good afternoon, this is Clink and Jacobs on talkSPORT. I'm Ollie Clink in for Paul Hawksbee. Andy, what's coming up this afternoon?
Well, Ollie, we'll be chatting to Robert Earnshaw about the mini exodus at Nottingham Forest, with Gibbs-White and Anthony Elanga both on their way out. And former Kiwi cricketer Jeremy Coney joins us for a chat about England against India. It's been a very interesting morning.
Oh, it has indeed. Yeah, you've been ranting away, but it's looking all right. We'll also talk to French football journalist and PSG fan Julien Laurent about the Club World Cup final tomorrow up against your Chelsea. Andy, you nervous? A bit nervous?
Yeah, very nervous. Well, not that nervous. We're going to lose, but it's Sunday. Anyway.
Later on, it's an Adrian Durham Clips of the Week special. Wow.
I know he's threatening legal action. We'll also get the latest from the States with Todd Macklin. We'll look ahead to the Chess Fest, which starts this weekend. And Curtis Camper, who took 5 wickets in 5 balls, he'll be with us too. Amazing.
All of that plus plenty more. It's 4 minutes past 1. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Andy.
Good afternoon, Ollie, and welcome back.
Yeah, thank you.
And I am excited about Sunday's game, but you've got to be realistic. I mean, PSG goes without saying they are fabulous, aren't they? What a team.
Incredible.
They've got so much about them that's so good. And I sent my son a text when they went 3-0 up, went, don't think we'll be winning this one on Sunday, but you never know. You've got to. I think we'll give them more of a game than Madrid.
Well, I mean, I've heard people ask questions of who's going to concede more, Chelsea on Sunday or Spurs in the Super Cup.
Yeah, it's very true. But
Chelsea have looked pretty good, though, haven't they?
No, it's been a good tournament. They've really come on and they've really matured as a squad. It's been really valuable, as well as the 80-odd million quid they've made. But I think I'm going with a 9-1 formation for Sunday.
Okay.
2 keepers. And I'm flying in Sean Dyche as a special advisor.
That's very good.
For the final.
They need the 2 keepers, don't they?
Yeah, just to kill the game. I mean, I think you do need 3 in midfield, though. You do. I think if Chelsea go with 2 in midfield and Palmer, they'll get outrun.
Are you nervous, though? I mean, with the way PSG press?
I'm not nervous.
With Sanchez in goal?
First of all, they've had a brilliant tournament, whatever happens.
Yeah.
So that's number one. And second, this is a great side. I mean, it would be one of the shocks. I mean, it's, Hereford against Newcastle, really.
Yeah.
Not quite. But it would be a big shock if Chelsea were to win the game. I just hope we give them a decent game. People have said that Villa beat them, but of course that was in front of a rabid Villa Park crowd. We'll have a word with Stan about that later, how they did get round them. What else have I got? Oh, yeah, the half-time interview, which we're going to get Sky have decided in the infinite wisdom to do next season. It is the most pointless bit of television you've ever seen in your life. How many times next season will the player interview go, well, there's still 45 minutes to go? Oh, it's going to happen, isn't it? Every single player is going to say, well, how do you think it's going? Well, it's going all right, but there's still 45 minutes.
And they'll all be out of breath.
But even if they're not going to say, oh, yeah, we've absolutely slaughtered them. I think they're useless. So I can't see anything in the second half other than another 3 goals for us.
I can't see them giving any tactical insight either, will they? They'll be like, they're not going to say, oh, I've had his pants down the whole game, are they?
They're just going to say, it's gone all right, but there's still 45 minutes to go.
Yeah.
I've got still 45 minutes to go, bingo.
Yeah, that's good.
Absolutely ridiculous.
That's good. And they're doing they're filming the dressing room, aren't they, as well, before and after the game. But they're not showing the team talks.
No,
so you're just going to see a load of lads
just rubbish
walking around.
It doesn't add in. Ref cam doesn't add anything either.
No,
it's no good. And the music at the break, they play this terrible music at the break. It's excruciating during the water breaks. And Michael Buffer introduced the players.
I did see that.
It doesn't add anything. It's absolutely. It's not.
And he said football rather than soccer, which I enjoyed.
Well, that's all right. He's 80 though. He's good for 80. I'll give him that.
Is he a Chelsea fan? Have I made that up?
Buffer.
Have I made that up? I swear there's something about that.
He sits next to me in the Matthew. Oh, stop saying let's get ready to rumble. The game's going to kick off. No, I don't think he is, to be really honest.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Did he introduce him player by player or anything? Did he? Or
I only saw the back end of it. I didn't.
Right. Okay.
I don't.
Because they've already had the one-on-one, the one.
Yeah, where they
walkout.
introduced them, where they come out.
God, imagine if they'd all done a boxing walkout as well. Moises the Mighty Caicedo.
Oh yeah, and it takes about an hour for them to get out there.
Crazy.
Not too good, really.
Yeah.
So anyway, it should be good. It's something to look forward to anyway. And
definitely, yeah.
And the cricket.
You're off to the cricket tomorrow, aren't you?
I'm off to the cricket tomorrow, and we'll chat to Sam Allard. They've done all right, England. I mean, I was a bit critical because I thought they were going to get rolled over for about 280, but they've come back strongly, and the tail wags, and that helps. And I think it'll still be a one-innings game. It usually is at Lord's. So, whatever we make, they'll make something similar, I reckon.
Yeah, 3-5-3 for 7 at the moment, England at lunch. And like you say, we'll chat to Sam. I'm going to chat to Jeremy Coney as well. I mean, what did you make of Stokes putting us into bat, though? Because we've had the last 2 tosses went to bowl.
I personally thought it was a mistake at Lord's, but, they said that, this is maybe in dispute, but they were saying on Sky yesterday that the team batting last have won the last 6 tests at Lord's. Certainly did in the World Test Championships, and so it was a bit of a strange decision, but that's what they do. That's their whole sort of method, really. Not really. It's Harper Beckham's birthday. It's marvellous, isn't it?
Many happy returns.
But unlike anybody else, instead of sending her a birthday card in the post or actually giving it to her, they have to put it all on Instagram.
Oh, really?
I don't get that. It drives me mad. If my wife has a birthday, I send her a card or I make her a card. Put it on Instagram and say, oh, how great she is.
Don't do a gushing post with about 10
Not really,
photos.
no. It says, but then it says she's not on Instagram, Harper. So what's the point of putting all these photos on Instagram? She's not even going to see it. Tremendous.
Can't even see it. Okay. How old is she today?
14. Well
14.
Done.
Oh, well done, Harper. Yeah, very,
not
very
long
good.
before
Is her middle name 7? Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there we go. Also, there's been some news today, some transfer news about Jordan Henderson going to Brentford, and we were going to talk to someone about it, and then we realised we're the two Brentford correspondents, really, aren't we?
We are, really.
TalkSport, other than Natalie Sawyer.
No, that's true. You often do the games for the Saturday afternoon show, and I'm often there. And I am worried about Brentford. I mean, I don't see how you lose Flecken. I know they're a great club, and they've got ability to ride out all this, but Flecken, Thomas Frank, Mbuemo, Visser, Norgard, that is a lot to lose in one window and think, that won't affect us at all.
It's the spine as well, isn't it? I mean, Kelleher's a good signing. I went to Keith Andrews' first press conference. He seemed very relaxed. He seemed very kind of sure of himself. But I mean, the first question I asked him, I said, if someone had said to you 2 or 3 years ago, you'd be heading into this season as a Premier League manager. Even he said, he was like, look, I'm ready to go, but probably not. I really wouldn't have thought that. And you just kind of think, doesn't fill you with confidence.
I could say the same thing to you, though. 2 or 3 years ago, do you think you'd be presenting Hawksbee and Jacobs?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, how's it gone? That's the problem, yeah. When will I get relegated? That's the thing.
You won't. No, you have to trust the club. They're a brilliant club, and they will spend some of this money on players, and, but you just feel that there's only so many times you can do this, and that is it's one thing losing 1 or 2, but to lose the manager as well, plus all the other players, it's going to be hard.
I've seen some people being a bit harsh about their new shirt as well, essentially saying that it already looks like when you get those relegation shirts, and actually, I'd argue it looks more League One, League Two.
I've got to have a look at it. I haven't seen it. I'll check it out in the breaks. So.
But they like to keep their shirt rolling, don't they, for kind of environmental stuff? But they've got a new one this season, and I've seen a lot of tweets saying it stinks of relegation. So doesn't help, does it?
That's
just
not great, really. What can you do?
Yeah.
And we'll be having updates from Lisa, from Wimbledon, and we'll be talking to her about non-alcoholic Pimm's. What a dreadful idea that is, really, honestly. But apparently people are asking for it.
Why are they asking? Why are they going after this?
Because your generation doesn't like drinking. Not you, of course.
No, I'm all right. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I've missed the threshold for that. Don't worry about it.
Fine.
But non-alcoholic. I mean, to be fair, even when you drink Pimm's, you don't really taste the alcohol, do you?
You feel it, though.
You do, you do after a few. Yeah,
I used to have one at Lord's.
You have it, Can I have some tomorrow?
I expect I might.
Oh, fantastic!
Definitely.
Yeah,
no question about it.
Where are you? Are you in the TalkSport box? Are you?
No. I'm John's invited me up there. I will go and say hello to him, and hopefully around tea time, so I can get some free tea.
Oh, good.
The food's very good up there. Have you been?
I heard. Who did I hear talking about this? I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about how good the lunch is, and all cricketers, cannot wait to play at Lord's simply because the lunch is so good. And apparently it's especially the dessert menu, and apparently it's especially the apple crumble.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently that is the king of all cricketing food.
I'll check it out tomorrow.
Yeah, please do.
Report back on Monday.
Have you heard about this strawberries and cream sandwich, by the way?
Yeah.
Have you tried one yet?
I haven't. Lisa tried one. We mentioned it to her and she didn't like it.
Oh, okay. Did you have one?
No. Why? I haven't been to Wimbledon. I'm not going to say to my home, I'm just going to make myself a strawberry and cream sandwich. I don't even watch the tennis.
Let alone eat one of them.
Although I will be talking later about very expensive exotic fruit.
Ooh. Can't wait for that.
I know.
When's that? Just after 3?
Well, it's like you must have seen this thing where a strawberry, like from Japan, it costs 20 quid for one strawberry.
Really?
Yeah.
What? Because of the quality or the size or the what we talk?
Quality, size, taste.
Put one of them in a sandwich. That'll do it. That'll do the trick. Right, plenty to come for you on the show today. As Andy says, we'll be checking in with Sam Ellard on the cricket. We're also going to speak to Jeremy Coney in just a moment, former Kiwi cricketer, about what he's made of the series so far and the test so far. Because, like Andy says, it is pretty gripping. That's coming next here on TalkSport. You're listening to Clink and Jacobs on TalkSport in partnership with Toolstation. Delivery in as little as 30 minutes with Fast Track. Next stop, Toolstation.
He plays that villain role very well now. That's crying out for a little bit more attention. It comes with a lot of crazy people. I took it personally and it kind of made me rebel a bit more. To be honest, I don't really care anymore. I'm never going to change.
Good afternoon, this is Clink and Jacobs on talkSPORT. I'm Ollie Clink, I'm in for Paul Hawksbee. Got a text here, Andy. Alcohol-free Pimm's, is that not just summer fruit cordial?
Very good point.
It's a good point. It's kind of be like an Arnie Palmer, wouldn't it? That kind of drink.
What's an Arnie Palmer?
You never had one?
No.
It's like he used to
I know
drink
who Arnold Palmer
Yeah, of course, but he invented the drink. Isn't it like... I can't remember what it is. It's like lemonade and iced tea or something like that.
Okay.
Anyway, we've got some breaking news as well involving Nottingham Forest. And you might have heard the news that Morgan Gibbs-White looked like he was on his way to Spurs. But reports are suggesting that Nottingham Forest consider the deal to take Gibbs-White to Tottenham is currently off. And Forest are consulting their lawyers over what they believe is an illegal approach for him.
Oh, they love consulting their lawyers, Forest.
They do.
Well,
they're saying they never gave permission for talks and they've cut all comms with Spurs. It's unlikely they can block it, but it's definitely delayed for the time being.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the strange thing as well is he's got a release clause too. So.
And if he wants to go, he'll go.
And if he wants to go, yeah. But there we go. We'll bring you more on that a bit later on. And Rob Earnshaw is going to join us, the former Forest striker, so we can ask him about that, as well as Elanga going too. I mean, I don't know if you heard Max Scott last night. He was heartbroken, wasn't he?
I know, and on breakfast this morning.
Yeah, almost in tears about the fact that Gibbs-White was going, but poor old Max, eh? Anyway, we have been chatting about the cricket, of course. England have tickled up to around 353 for 7 at lunch, but it's been a thrilling series so far. Joining us now to look at it is Jeremy Coney, former New Zealand cricketer. How you doing, Jeremy?
I'm well, thanks. You guys all right?
Yeah, good.
Good, thank you.
Very interesting morning's play, wasn't it? India started so well, and then England fought back.
Well, kind of the other way, I think, lads. It was England's session in the end, I would have to say, slightly. A session of 2 bits. The first bit, obviously Joe Root getting his 100, but he only needed 1. And then it became the Bumrah show, didn't it? Three wickets. Stokes first, then Root, then Wokes. And suddenly 270 for 7 didn't look quite so healthy. But then they decided to change the ball. And the new ball that was selected for them by the umpires didn't please the Indians very much. It didn't do very much in the air. It did nothing off the... So suddenly England came back into the game through Smith, who's had a wonderful series, for England, and Carse has supported him really well at the other end. And so Smith's on 50-odd and Carse has got to 30. And so they've had an 80-run partnership. So overall, 350, as you say, for 7, they're starting to look a little bit better, and they might even threaten 400 here on a pitch that hasn't been easy to bat on and score runs easily, as we've seen so far in the series.
On that, Jeremy, what did you make of the decision in the first place to bat? Because there's been a lot made about Ben Stokes choosing to bowl in the first 2 tests. What did you make of the decision at the time?
Yeah, I thought, it was a reasonable one. If you're in Lords, at Lords you tend to look up rather than down. It's not a green pitch. It's not what I've been used to seeing most of my life, where that starts off, a test pitch starts off slightly virulent green, and it's a battle for the first, maybe a session and a half to actually just last it. And that's why the openers were so important. This is different. These are more straw-coloured surfaces. There's no entropy throughout the game. where it deteriorates over 5 days. It seems to just stay pretty much the same or get better. So that's why Stokes has chosen that method and that structure, if you like, of batting second and last. Last is the key part, because they can chase a total because the pitch hasn't deteriorated. Well, it didn't work for them at Edgbaston, did it? And so maybe if you look up here at Lord's, I think as soon as you get a nice clear day and no clouds, I think it's a better batting surface, and I think that's probably what determined, to make that decision. It's proved okay at the moment at 357, so they had to battle the first day. It was a bit slow and sluggish, but they all got to it, apart from a rather interesting innings from Crawley. Everybody else got down to it and tried to, tuck in, which was good.
What do you make of these Duke balls, though? I mean, you mentioned the ball got changed, and presumably it was India who asked for it to be changed. You wonder if they were doing well with it.
A mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. But it isn't good enough, is it, really? That there's an inconsistency, that they don't last. There's a problem with this set of balls, isn't there?
Well, absolutely there is. You can't be changing a ball after 10 overs. I mean, that's ridiculous. Yeah. You start with a new ball and you've got not really a really hard surface. The outfield is green and lush, and so it's keeping the ball in good condition so you can shine it. We've seen swing. And so I don't see any reason why they're saying that the bats nowadays are whacking it out of shape, but not in 10 overs. It wasn't as if, as I mentioned, the first part of that session, it belonged to the bowlers. It belonged to Bumrah. It didn't belong to the batsmen smashing the ball hither and yon. So I didn't understand that. I don't know why they changed it, but it's caused all sorts of problems between, the Indian captain and the umpires. So that didn't look too good, to be honest. But nevertheless, India, they're looking down. They dropped Smith. That only themselves to blame. And so England at the moment holding with runs in the bank.
You mentioned Zach Crawley there as well, Jeremy. I mean, he's certainly not on Andy's Christmas card list at the moment. What do you make of the situation?
Never mind, Andy. Andy's not worried. Look, Crawley's had his detractors. I'm not sure he's an opener. You need to handle the new ball when it moves, and the new ball does move. That's the whole idea of it, isn't it? And when you get someone who's good with movement, whether it's from the surface when you hit the pitch, so it's nipping and seaming, or whether you get it before it seams in the air, which is swinging the ball, and you're going to have to deal with that movement. And Crawley doesn't kind of do that. He just reaches towards the ball and brings both edges of his bat, either the inside or the outside edge. Outside edge, it goes to the cordon, to the slips, to the keeper, to the gully, or inside edge, it brings it back towards your stumps. And then if he tries to go hard at the ball, which is what he does, then you bring in some of the other fielders, backward a point, cover, even the bowler himself following through, or you miss it and you get bowled. So, look, I don't think his figures really support the way that he's played in terms of... He's had a couple of good innings, hasn't he? Let's be fair to him. Against the Aussies at Manchester last year. But apart from that, I don't think he really warrants his place. That's just me personally. Stokes and McCullum and co, they feel differently than that. They feel he can make a difference somewhere in a Test series.
Bit of a treat for you watching Bumrah this morning. He really is a special bowler. The ball to Stokes was just... That was a great delivery.
Yeah, one of those ones I think he did it exactly right, Stokes. He turned and walked away. There wasn't much you could do. It was on a length. He played the length of the ball, he played the line of the ball, and it moved. And it moved at pace, and it hit the top of off. It was just a perfect delivery. And sometimes you get those in the game, So you just turn and walk off and say, oh, well, that was too good for me.
Just finally, Jeremy, we've been hearing that the apple crumble at Lord's is the best fare within cricket. Can you confirm that for us?
Well, I can't at the moment. I'm looking at some chickpeas that I've got here. I'm tempted to tuck in while I'm talking to you, lads, but I'm talking too much, clearly. And there's a bit of salad and there's some beans here, which seem to be looking pretty good.
Lovely.
Do you like potatoes with onions, fellas?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
You do? Okay, well then come and grab some because they're there as well.
Okay.
Other than that, I hope there's apple crumble. One of my favourite puddings, actually, and desserts is crumble. I don't know, anything, any crumble. Rhubarb, quite nice. Blackberry, don't you think, fellas? For me, anyway.
Great,
do you like custard or do you like a bit of cream or
Hot
yogurt
custard
with
for me.
that?
Yeah.
Let's ask the
Oh, there
listeners.
you go. Not bad.
Good stuff. Well, Jeremy, enjoy
I
your
hope some of those
chickpeas.
guys changing teams are going to have that sort of treatment as well when they get there.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we hope not
All right,
for,
boys.
for less of a crumble from England, to be fair. But, Jeremy, thank you very much indeed.
Cheers. Good to chat. Take care.
There we go. We're going to let you get on with your lunch.
We've
Jeremy.
made him laugh. That's all right, isn't it? No one in the history of the world has ever been tempted by chickpeas, would be my contention.
Exactly.
They're
Yeah.
quite.
I was going to say.
A poor thing.
Yeah, look forward to your potatoes tomorrow, Andy. Sounds delicious. But I'm sure it'll be very, very nice there. And we'll keep you across the cricket throughout the day. They're still at lunch, of course. But yeah, England 3-5-3 for 7 at the moment. In just a moment, we're going to be chatting to Billy Munger, a former British racing driver. About that Christian Horner news, him leaving Red Bull, and we will be chatting a bit later to Rob Earnshaw about Nottingham Forest. Just a reminder of that news that we brought you right at the top of the hour, that they consider that deal for Gibbs White to Tottenham currently off, and they're consulting their lawyers over it. We do believe that it's unlikely that they can block it. Don't forget, by the way, if you are overseas, you can hear live commentary of England against India over on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel. This is Hawksbee and Jacobs with me, Ollie Klink, alongside Andy Jacobs on talkSPORT.
Looks like Jordan Henderson's making a return to the Premier League. The former Liverpool captain's moving to London, more specifically Brentford. He became a free agent this week after leaving Ajax, but couldn't return to the Prem until the 1st of July due to Saudi tax reasons. Alan Pardew thinks this is an inspired move from the Bees.
They know that the performances Henderson's put in at Ajax have been of the level. Okay, they wouldn't take him otherwise. But the added bonus, of course, is the leadership that he brings. You know, with Norgard going on to the Arsenal, it seems like a perfect replacement to me.
Meanwhile, Daniel Levy's been getting busy this transfer window. Tottenham have secured Mohamed Kudus, and now Morgan Gibbs-White is on the way. It's thought the 25-year-old will complete his medical later on today. And weak and feeble is how David Campasi's described the Lions, saying they lack the spark to strike fear into the Wallabies.
You've lost Daly, who was playing very good rugby. Kinghorn's injured. You haven't got that flair like, Driscoll in the back line or someone like that, But again, it's if he doesn't play, I think you guys are in a bit of trouble.
Blair Kinghorn is touch and go for the Lions after he sprained his knee. talkSPORT will have you covered when the Lions take on Australia and New Zealand's combined 15 tomorrow morning from 10 a.m.
Along there.
Oh, Andy? Yes, I love the music.
Oh, yeah, you're a big fan.
Fantastic. Yeah, go on.
This is Clink and Jacobs here on talkSPORT with me, Ollie Clink. I'm in for Paul Hawksbee this afternoon alongside Andy Jacobs. Let's get the latest from Wimbledon, shall we? Lisa O'Sullivan has been watching for talkSPORT.
Yeah, the Wimbledon men's semi-finals day. A bit different at the club. The juniors are holding sway on the outside. There's less urgency about the crowd, but there is expectation and a frisson of excitement hanging in the toasty air as we've got another magnificent summer's day. They are warming up in the first match. Serve bot Taylor Fritz taking on serve bot in training Carlos Alcaraz. Fritz, who's banged down 95 aces in the last 12 days, has held serve 88 times out of 95. And Alcaraz, who's the best returner around, won't be too concerned about that. He's been also focusing on his serve, and we saw the effect when he destroyed Cameron Norrie 6-2, 6-3, 6-3 last time out. This is going to be an interesting one. Later, we'll see Yannick Sinner take on Novak Djokovic.
Yeah, exciting stuff. Lisa, thanks very much. We'll check back in with Lisa a bit later on, of course, and keep you across those games. But I'm delighted to say that joining us now to chat a bit of F1 and racing is Billy Munger, former British racing driver. Billy, how you doing?
I'm doing good, thanks, chaps. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thanks. So you're going to be working as a pundit on the Formula E this weekend in Berlin, and something quite interesting about where the track is. Is it a former airport? Is that right?
Yeah, that is right indeed. It's a bit of a unique location for the Formula E we've got this weekend, but it's a big weekend when it comes to the Formula E Championship. Potentially the championship is going to be wrapped up this weekend with a British driver, Oliver Rowland, leading the way. So there's plenty to look forward to.
If he does win that, does that mean he could one day end up in Formula One, or is there not a route, a sort of pathway from Formula E to Formula One?
Yeah, I think realistically, Oliver Rowland is a driver that's very settled in Formula E as a championship. He's a driver that's obviously had the sort of potential in his junior category days of maybe making it to Formula One. But the way motorsport works, the way Formula One works is, there's only athletes, really talented guys sometimes don't make it into Formula One. And in Formula E, those talented guys got to win championships, world championships, which is what he'll be hoping to win his first in the championship.
Are you expecting a bit of a crowd down there as well, Billy?
Yeah, it should be a good atmosphere. I think this is normally when we'll get a decent turnout to arrive for the weekend. So I think as well, with the fact that the championship is on the line, obviously only 4 races, 2 this weekend here in Berlin, and in a couple of weeks' time, 2 more in London. I think we're getting to that, the end of the championship where things are up for grabs. So hopefully that means more fans will turn up.
The big news, of course, is that Formula E have partnered with Mr. Beast Chocolate Feastables.
Oh, yeah.
As their official chocolate, which is very interesting because at this time of the year, with this weather, basically, it'd just be a pool of chocolate in your hand, wouldn't it?
Yeah, maybe Mr. Beast has found a way to avoid that issue because, he's a man that does very many clever things. But yeah, it's a good partnership. He's had a chance to drive the car as well.
Yeah. Now, obviously, Billy, there's been some big news this week in the world of F1 with Christian Horner sat by Red Bull. What did you make of that?
It's a tricky one because he's the longest serving team principal that's been in Formula One. So, obviously huge news. That Red Bull team that's won, multiple Constructors and Drivers' Championship under his leadership is now, they're completely new leaders that are going to be driving that team. Lauren Mecky's making a step up from Racing Bulls, the Red Bull Junior team, into Red Bull. I think it felt like the sort of news because of the sort of turn of form that Red Bull have had. It felt like if there was going to be a moment to make a change, it was probably going to come this season. But I didn't think it would come so soon. I think it was a bit unexpected around the paddock, especially with the sort of history that Christian has with the team. But they've made that call now, and now it's going to be interesting to see how they bounce back next year. New regulations in Formula One obviously means it's an opportunity, if they get it right, to potentially be a dominant team in the sport for the next few years.
There was an amazing letter in one of the tabloids this morning saying, he's going to get his comeuppance now. You think he's going to walk away with about 50 million quid? I won't worry about it. I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be too worried about the financials of the situation, to be honest. It's more the fact that he's currently out of the sport and not, involved in a sport that he's been involved with since, being a racing driver himself in the early days.
Do you think that he'll get another job in Formula One, or has damage been done?
I think it would be surprising if this was the end of his involvement in Formula One, from my perspective, because he's been involved with the sport for such a long period of time, and he's obviously proved that he can be successful and he can lead a team. If I was one of the other sort of CEOs of one of the other Formula One teams, I would think that he's worth taking a punt on. Whether that will happen soon or whether there'll be a bit of a time, he'll take time out of the sport to reflect on sort of his time in the sport and how intense the world of Formula One is, and then come back in a few years' time when the dust has settled. That's, I guess, the question that we don't know the answer to.
If you're being honest as well, Billy, do you think Horner going makes it more likely that Red Bull do manage to keep Verstappen? Because it is going to be so crucial for them.
Yeah. I do think that potentially this has played a part, because we know that there have been rumblings from within that Red Bull team that, the Verstappen camp and Christian Horner potentially haven't always seen eye to eye. And there's just been those sort of rumours that spread around the Formula One paddock quite regularly, and if that is part of the reason why Red Bull are making this decision in order to do the best, to have the best opportunity to keep Max Verstappen, who has been critical to their team successes over the last few years, then I think if this is the sort of domino that needed to fall to keep Max Verstappen at Red Bull, then they've probably made the right decision.
Billy, you're a big Tottenham fan too. It looks like they're getting pretty busy in the transfer market, despite Forest trying to kick up a bit of a fuss about Morgan Gibbs-White. But I mean, Kudus coming through and Frank as the new manager. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I mean, until the last few days, it's kind of felt like a bit of a slow start to the Thomas Frank reign, but I've been pretty excited, if I'm honest, about the signings that we've been making, because, last few transfer windows, we've been bringing in a lot of youth players, like younger generation players, talents for the future, but it did feel like we needed some Premier League proven players, and that's exactly from the signings that we're making right now. Obviously, hopefully Morgan Gibbs-White goes through all things sort of considered, with, Nottingham Forest maybe being a little bit upset with what's maybe gone on in the background. But if we can get Morgan Gibbs-White in, I mean, he's an interesting one for me, because I don't necessarily think it's a position that it felt like we were desperate to need a new player in that position. We've got Kulusevski and Maddison that can sort of play in that number 10 role. But Kudus, I think, is really important for our team. I can see him slotting straight into that starting lineup, or at least challenging Brennan Johnson for that sort of starting 11 position on the right wing. And it's just exciting having a new manager and some new quality players into the team.
He was brilliant the first season for West Ham, but I think he lost a bit of interest last season. It wasn't a great season for him.
Tailed off a bit, didn't it?
I think he's a good player, very good player.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Billy...
Champions League football can reinvigorate him.
Sure, definitely. Billy, thanks very much indeed, mate. Enjoy the weekend.
Thank you, chaps.
There we go, Billy Munger there. And Live Motorsport returns to TalkSport 2 this weekend with exclusive commentary of the penultimate rounds of the Formula E World Championship, the all-electric series returning to Berlin, as we mentioned there, for 2 races, and British driver Oliver Rowland could wrap up the world title as early as Saturday. You can join TalkSport 2 for exclusive commentary from 2:30 on both Saturday and Sunday afternoons. And for a full race preview, you can check out TalkSport's Motorsports YouTube channel, TalkSport Driving. We've mentioned there about Nottingham Forest and them potentially being a bit upset about the transfer of Morgan Gibbs-White and threatening to take a bit of legal action. Rob Earnshaw is going to join us next, the former Forest striker, for his view on all of that. This is TalkSport.
He plays that villain role very well now. That's crying out for a little bit more attention. It comes with a lot of crazy people. I took it personally and it kind of made me rebel a bit more. To be honest, I don't really care anymore. I'm never going to change.
This is Clinking Jacobs on talkSPORT in partnership with Toolstation. Get thousands of products delivered to you with Fast Track on the Toolstation app. Next stop, Toolstation. They've had their apple crumble at Lords. They're back out again.
Oh, yes, I think something's just happened.
And something has just happened. Can we go to Sam Ellard very quickly? I think we can, because, Sam, there's been a wicket.
Yeah, the perfect start for India after lunch. They get the all-important wicket of Jamie Smith. He passed 50 just before lunch, and he departs just after the break. The break once again in this game doing the trick. It's a wide ball that he looks to play through the offside. Mohammad Siraj is the bowler, and he's caught behind Jarrell, the substitute wicket-keeper. So England, who had a really tricky first hour in the morning session, losing 3 wickets. The 7-wicket partnership was a good one. Smith passed 50. Cast not out on 34, but Siraj gets Smith. He goes for 51 just after lunch. England 355 for 8.
He's annoying, Siraj, that thing he did there with his hand gestures.
Yeah, a little celebration. Yeah, it was first ball after tea yesterday as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And straight after lunch. So
I know.
Yeah, clearly the food is good.
Here comes Archer.
Here we go.
Interesting. I don't think it lasts long.
Well, yeah, big reception though for Jofra Archer as he comes out. We'll check back in with Sam. Now it looks like Nottingham Forest are set to lose 2 of their star players.
Anthony Elanga has agreed a 5-year contract. Newcastle delighted to get this over the line. The fee in total is £55 million.
Anthony Elanga wasn't really wanted at Manchester United. He's had a standout season at Nottingham Forest. The rewards of Nottingham Forest is that they're going to get cherry-picked off by sides that are perhaps in a slightly better position than they are.
Breaking news, Tottenham have triggered the £60 million release clause of Morgan Gibbs-White, who's due to have a medical at Spurs.
Clearly Morgan Gibbs-White has given his blessing to Spurs to go and trigger that release clause.
Spurs are ripping the beating heart out of this Nottingham Forest side. We're making a pittance for one of the best up-and-coming players in this country. It is shocking. This is a great move for Tottenham. Nottingham Forest must be gutted.
What he does for that team, everything goes through him.
You've just secured European football for the first time in 30 years when there are no issues with PSR. It is shocking.
Cry baby Scott.
Mike Scott close to tears there last night, and understandably. We should bring you the update on this, though, that Forest are considering legal action over what they see as an illegal approach from Tottenham for Morgan Gibbs-White. We understand that Evangelos Marinakos is furious with how the move has come about, and Forest say they never gave Spurs permission to hold talks with him, and they're suspicious about a breach of confidentiality regarding his $60 million release clause.
Yeah, all of that won't happen. He'll go.
Yeah, it feels like it will still go over the line.
They can complain to the Premier League all they like. They've got a terrible relationship with the Premier League. I shouldn't think they're going to... I think that will fall on deaf ears. And
Very
if
true.
the player wants to go, he'll go. We all know that.
Yeah. Joining us now to go through it all is former Forest striker Rob Earnshaw. Rob, how you doing?
I am doing excellent, thank you. How are you guys?
Yeah, really good, thanks. Really good. What are you making of this mini exodus from Forest with Elanga? And despite this legal challenge that Forest might bring about, like Andy says, it still seems that Gibbs-White might end up at Tottenham anyway. What do you make of it?
Yeah, do you know what? I'm first of all very surprised that Gibbs-White, the whole situation with Spurs in the first place, because I would probably imagine he's probably one of the last ones they would want to leave. He's probably the one they'll hold on unless a too good to turn down offer comes in. So, but I believe there's a £60 million clause in it that says, okay, you can go and speak to them. But of course, the update is now that they made an illegal approach is what they're saying at Nottingham Forest. So let's face it, they'll get down to the table, start negotiating at some point. That's what I believe. And to be honest with you, I think it would be devastating for Nottingham Forest to lose Gibbs-White. I think he's become such an important player, an excellent talent, and on top of that, he's also their captain, the leader, and he's still a young man with not reached his full potential. I still think there's more levels to him. So yes, they've lost Elanga in the last few days. Gibbs-White, if he goes, I think Nottingham Forest are in a position that they will really have to try and look at how do they replace them, because they're looking at now European football for the first time in 30 years. You've got to also build for that as well, because let's face it, the last few seasons, they've not had European football. European football in a Premier League season is way more games, way more challenging, and you need a depth of squad. But they need the first 11 right now. So difficult moment, but also at the same time, in a good position for Nottingham Forest in terms of like, yes, they will get some cash if those players end up going.
Yeah, and it's interesting because at the moment it looks like they're going to be in the Europa League. They would have been in the Conference League, in which case they don't need as many players, and it's a much easier competition, as Chelsea proved last year. Europa League is a taxing competition, as we saw from United and Spurs, so that'll be interesting. But they have got players coming in. They've got some interesting Brazilian players. Their recruitment is good, and if you give them 110 million with a good manager that they've got, they could still be okay.
Yeah, listen, I actually think Nottingham Forest will be fine. Because I think apart from their first season 3 years ago when they first came in, but they only had 15, I believe 15 players coming into the Premier League season. So they had to sign after their championship, almost surprised. It was a surprise that they got promoted, but then they had to sign players. They went for lots of players, made lots of signings. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. Some of them have moved on, and it looks a completely different football club right now to 3 years ago. But I think now they're in a position to tempt some better players, but also be in a position that, yes, we've got European football. We've just finished in that top 6 or 7 in the Premier League. We're rising. So I think Forest are in a good position. And listen, let's face it, Premier League, they finished in a great position, and now European football as well. So the club is huge. Listen, when I was there, you felt the gravity of the size of the club, and it's great. It's brilliant. So it's great for them to be in that European football stage. So I think they'll be fine, but they will need to make at least 2 or 3 signings.
I do agree with you, Robert, about Morgan Gibbs-White and being so central to them because, with their style, such counter-attacking football, he's usually the one with the long raking passes or bringing the ball forward. How much of a miss, though, do you feel that Elanga will be alongside that?
Yeah, I mean, when you break it down, when I look at Forest, they sat very, very deep. Murillo, left side centre-back, Milenkovic, right side centre-back, amazing. Great goalkeeper in goals. So that trio was central. They knew, and I've been in those positions where they'll keep a clean sheet. They'll take care of the things at the back. There'll be no problem there. And there'll be chances to break away. Gibbs-White was the one making those passes. And then you've got the speed of Elanga. So I think Elanga going is a huge miss because I think in the last 2 seasons, he's got 20 assists. That's higher than the likes of Cole Palmer. That's in that top bracket. So I think he goes to a good team, Newcastle. You can't argue with that. But Nottingham Forest are in a position where teams are looking at them and thinking, are you now a selling club? Yes, you've done very well. Yes, you've got European football, but we're going to come and pick your top players. Unfortunately, that's it. That is Elanga. That is Gibbs-White. And, I think he leaves them in a rough position. But Elanga will be a big miss. Really, really big. Outstanding season last season. And the combination of Gibbs-White and Elanga playing together, I thought was incredible. Last season. I think is a big part of why Nottingham Forest did so well and finished really, really high in the league.
You can't compare Cole Palmer though to Elanga. Because,
no.
Only because Elanga.
I agree.
No, only because Elanga had Chris Wood on the end of it. If Chelsea had a striker, he would have had a lot of more assists.
Listen, I do agree. Listen, I do hold Cole Palmer. I mean that in the sense of efficiency at the end of it. When you've got a player that he's going to get assists, that's huge. So listen, as player for player, and I'm a football fan, Cole Palmer is in that top 1%. So it's hard to compare him.
Robert, just a quick one on your former club, Cardiff, as well, because it looks like a potential takeover is on the way and Gareth Bale leading this consortium. It's only good news, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I actually think Cardiff City are way off. Yes, there's interest. Yes, Gareth Bale is at the head of a consortium, but I actually think it's far off a deal because I know Vincent Tan. I've worked for him, and I know he's a tough negotiator. And if there is a takeover, if Gareth Bale comes in with his consortium and says, listen, we want to buy the club, this is our offer, I think there's going to be quite a number of weeks of negotiation. But I do believe Vincent Tan will sell in the end if the price is right. But there's going to be a tough negotiation along the way. But listen, I know Gareth, a former teammate of mine, and I'd love to be for him to be at the center of that football club, because I think he's a great role model, great player, great, real football person as well, because he understands it. He loves football, and it would be a great thing to have him involved. But I think it's a long way off right now. So I might have to come on and explain a little bit more later on. So we'll see how it goes. But right now, they're at the table at least. And I think that's a really, really big bonus, because Cardiff going down last year, they will try and come back up. They want to come back up. And they need a re-energized football club right now in the next few months. So could it be Gareth Bale? I think that would be a real big positive.
Robert, thanks very much indeed for your time.
Yeah, good stuff.
Pleasure.
Great stuff. Robert Earnshaw there. Had a couple of texts, Andy, from a guy, Tony, who says Harvey Elliott would be a good shout for Forest to come in and replace Gibbs White potentially at Forest.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And Harvey Elliott, if he does go, he'd be a great signing for somebody. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. He needs to play regularly.
Yeah, he definitely does. He's been linked with some moves to Germany, I think, as well. In the cricket, England still 369 for 8. We'll get the latest from Sam Ellarder at Lords in just a moment. And Alcaraz is out on the court in the semi-final at Wimbledon too. So we'll talk to Lisa O'Sullivan. Still to come, it's an Adrian Durham Clips of the Week special a bit later on, which I'm very excited about. Todd Macklin, of course, will join us for the latest from the States as well. And we're going to talk to Curtis Campher, who became the first male cricketer to take 5 wickets from 5 balls in a professional game. So
incredible.
Looking forward to that a bit later on too. This is Clink and Jacobs on talkSPORT.
Looks like Jordan Henderson's making return to the Premier League. The former Liverpool captain's moving to London, more specifically Brentford. He became a free agent this week after leaving Ajax, but couldn't return to the Prem until the 1st of July due to Saudi tax reasons. Alan Pardew thinks this is an inspired move from the Bees.
They know that the performances Henderson's put in at Ajax have been of the level. Okay, they wouldn't take him otherwise. But the added bonus, of course, is the leadership that he brings. You know, with Norgard going on to the Arsenal, it seems like a perfect replacement to me.
Meanwhile, Daniel Levy's been getting busy this transfer window. Tottenham have secured Mohamed Kudus, and now Morgan Gibbs-White is on the way. It's thought the 25-year-old will complete his medical later on today. talkSPORT's chief football correspondent Alex Crook reckons the Spurs owner means business.
Obviously, what he's doing here that he didn't do when they reached the Champions League final is he's capitalising on that success, and he's trying to build from a position of strength. Having just won that Europa League title, guaranteed Champions League football for next season. I don't think Mohamed Kudus would have gone there were they not in the Champions League.
You can find all the latest transfer news at talksport.com. Liverpool's friendly against Preston will go ahead this weekend, with plans underway to pay tribute to Diogo Jota and Andre Silva after their passing. A minute's silence will be observed, with digital tributes put on display. Both sets of players will be wearing black armbands. And weak and feeble is how David Campazzi's described the Lions, saying they lack the spark to strike fear into the Wallabies.
You've lost Daly, who was playing very good rugby. Kinghorn's injured. You haven't got that flair like Driscoll in the back line or someone like that, But again, it's if he doesn't play, I think you guys are in a bit of trouble.
Blair Kinghorn is touch and go for the Lions after he sprained his knee. talkSPORT will have you covered when the Lions take on Australia and New Zealand's combined 15 tomorrow morning from 10 a.m.
Good afternoon, this is Clink and Jacobs on talkSPORT. I'm Ollie Clink, I'm in for Paul Hawksbee this afternoon. Now, there has been a wicket in the test match between England and India at Lord's. Sam Ellard.
England 370 for 9. He was rested for Lord's, and the best bowler in the world is on the Lord's honours board. Jasprit Bumrah has a 5-wicket haul, bowling Jofra Archer for 4. 4 of his 5 wickets have been bowled. He's just short of a length outside of off stump. Bumrah angling the ball in, and the ball shaped back in after pitching. An absolute snorter. Jofra Archer's return to Test cricket at the crease didn't last too long. 11 balls, he's out for 4. Bryden Cast has 45 to his name. Shoaib Bashir is the new batsman. India searching for the final wicket to wrap up this innings. Bumrah's got 5. England 370 for 9.
Yeah, I think just a little bit light. I think 400 would have been a better effort, really.
Yeah,
and
I reckon so.
They've left the door open for India. If India can score 450, 500, then they're going to be right in.
Yeah, definitely. What have you got for me then, Andy?
Well, what have I got for you? You see, Robbie Savage, he's joining a Forest Green. He's going to become a vegan.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. I see him as a sort of ribeye man. I don't see him as the vegan type, do you?
No.
But
well, I mean, they had Duncan Ferguson before, didn't they? And I remember he did that he did this video about eating vegan cheese, just the last bloke in the world. I mean, the only footballer that could be a carnivore is Duncan Ferguson, I reckon. And he's there going, I love this cheese. Oh, it's unbelievable. Clearly never had vegan cheese in his life. But yeah, so Savage is going to give it a go, is he? Yeah.
I was tickled by this story of it's a serious story that British Airways pilots can't log in. Because there's a disastrous cybersecurity upgrade locked them out of a company's systems. But it turned out, this is in The Sun, The Sun understands the British Airways manager in charge of the botched password rollout, he changed the password without telling anybody, is now on holiday and the process can't be halted. It's a British manager. Oh, yeah.
How's he going to get back from holiday?
Bye, John. Have a nice time. Sorry, I've left you all in the clarts, as they say.
Dear.
Tremendous.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, there we go.
Well, that's a bit worrying. What kind of software they use? Like Landing Pro and stuff like that? Or I don't know.
Are you asking me? Funny enough, I'm not that much of an expert on it.
Okay, aviation.
Aviation.
Thought you might be. Sorry
Sure.
about that.
Aviation software. Seems unlikely to me, but what can you do? Have you seen any of these? It's a very Gen Z thing. This 1 minute mini serials. They're basically it's a whole story, and each episode only lasts a minute.
What? Oh, I thought when you said 1 minute serials, I thought you meant breakfast.
No.
Okay.
It's a TV serial.
Right.
So it's a sort of like a drama.
Okay.
And each episode lasts 60 seconds.
What's the point in that?
Well, they're very popular in China. Apparently.
Okay. Well, how can you tell the story? I mean, how many episodes do you get through?
Well,
I'm binge watching this serial. Watched 1,000 episodes last night.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah.
Oh my word.
It's good,
Okay.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So
I downloaded the thing. I read about it, and I like to be up with all the latest things. So I downloaded the app, but it's excruciating. It's just rubbish telly. Instead of it being sort of an hour long, it's a minute long or 60-minute versions of it, but it's still not great. There's our old mate Brian Limford of Pontefract, who normally writes extremely long letters to the Star with no punctuation in them whatsoever. But today he's writing about football, and it's a short one, but it's still worth hearing from Brian. Next time you watch a mundane match, i.e. no shots on goal in the first half or hanker for past stars, use the break to watch TikTok clips. Skills Ronaldinho.
Cheers, Brian.
Cheers. Thanks for coming, Brian.
Thanks, mate. Yeah. What those kind of 1080p welcome to Chelsea Ronaldinho videos? I reckon he probably me. But are you big on are you on TikTok, Andy, as well, and everything?
I was. I had to get off it. I found 1 week I got a thing. So it tells you how long you've been on a particular website. So I got this thing that said, you've been on TikTok for 12 hours that week. And I thought, oh, no.
It was a particularly good series, that one.
Half a day on TikTok. No, but it's just, it hooks you in.
Oh, it does.
But they've all got the same thing now. X do it and Instagram do it. The sort of rolling.
Yeah. Did you do any TikToks? Did you do any dancing?
Oh, yeah,
trends
no. I did a series of Salt Bay spoofs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a long time
Are they still
ago.
up?
They're still there. Yeah, they're excellent. No problem at all. What else have I got for you? Oh, yeah, I was going to tell you about this exotic fruit. I know you were interested because you're a man that does like to spend a bit of money on your food.
on my fruit? Yeah.
On your fruit.
I've always got a passion fruit hanging about.
I love this headline. Do you want your photo taken with Barack Obama? That'll be £3,500. No, you're all right.
$3.5 grand.
$3.5 grand.
Let's go to Madame Two Swords.
I know. It's incredible, isn't it? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, here it is. So this woman wrote this piece in the Sunday Times, and apparently Harrods stock boxes of 24 Shibuya Farm strawberries from Kyoto.
Shibuya.
That's the name of the place.
Okay.
It's a place in Tokyo. It's very famous. Right, part of Tokyo, I think. Yeah. Anyway, these are from Kyoto, not Kyoto. I don't know where that is. Kyoto for £180, which is tremendous. Or
180 quid.
Yeah. Or if you have this £420 omakase menu at this Sushi Kanaseka in central London, the whole course, the whole crowning glory is this melon flown in from Shizuoka and known as the king of fruits, but you only get a little slice.
Oh, right. How much is that then? That's
420 quid.
420 quid. I can imagine someone saying, photo with Barack Obama, I could have a fair few melons for
I'd
that.
rather have a few strawberries.
For your strawberries and lemons.
Yeah. And who are the other ones? Oh, yeah, here they are. No, I think that's it, really.
Okay.
So I think I did. The fact that in the end, though, the woman said she tried a £20 pumpkin. It seemed like not much point. There wasn't
£20 cost-wise? Or?
Yeah, cost. It wasn't even from Japan. No
dear.
point whatsoever. There you go.
Well, there we go, yeah. Yeah, I might... One of those melons, 420 quid, and that's just a slice.
No, it's part of the... Mate,
I was going to say. It's crazy.
It's a lot of money, isn't it?
It is indeed.
For a melon.
Yeah, we're going to check back in with... Oh, have you got another one?
Well, only the fact that Joey Chestnut was on the sports bar. I've seen they put a clip up today. The World Hot Dog Eating Champion.
Oh, yeah.
I watched it live. I got back from the show last week and I caught it live, the actual whole thing. He did 70 in 10 minutes.
No way.
It is one of the most revolting, disgusting things. But there was a brilliant piece by Barney Ronay in The Guardian last Saturday about how much he trains for this. Because he's not a big, massive bloke that would eat a lot.
Yeah.
He's quite a slim guy. And he trains his jaws to be able to, and his gullet. To be able to, yeah, it's incredible. It was it'll be on the Guardian website. It's well worth checking out. I mean, this bloke is dedicated to eating hot dogs.
Wow. How many does he know?
They do have an after-match purge, you do know that.
Yeah, well, yeah. Luckily, that bit's not filmed.
One repeats on me for about an hour or 3 hours. So I don't know what 70 would do.
Yeah, no, that was a bit of a nightmare, I think. Need a couple of Rennies, I think, after that. Now, we're going to check in with Lisa for the semi-finals of Wimbledon. Before that, though, Arina Sabalenka was knocked out yesterday by Amanda Anisimova. And Sabalenka wasn't happy with one moment in particular when Anisimova appeared to celebrate a point that had clipped the net. Here's Sabalenka.
I just look at her and I mean, for sure she didn't hear me, but I was just like, you don't want to say sorry. But she just wanted, I guess, badly to win this match. And it's on her. If she doesn't feel like saying sorry, like she barely got that point and she didn't feel like saying sorry for that tricky situation, that's on her.
She is the world's worst loser, honestly.
Come on.
She is.
Well, Lisa O'Sullivan, what do you make of all this?
Unfair.
That's really... No, but this is a prime example of the British press taking one tiny bit of a press conference that was highly entertaining, was very funny, was lots of laughing. She gave a lot of credit to Amanda Anisimova, and they picked out this one little bit, and they're saying, she's a bad loser, she's a mean kid, following off the back of what happened at Roland Garros. And she came into the press conference.
Bad against Goff, though.
She was. And then she walked in and then she said, are you guys waiting for something? You're not going to see a Roland Garros press conference. For anyone who's waiting for that can leave right now. She's been very apologetic. She's owned up to how badly she behaved in the comments she made about Coco Gauff after that. But I think everybody's now trying to make her out to be the villain that she's not. And I think that's really kind of unfair. And, you know, she went in there and she gave a really brilliant press conference, bearing in mind this is her third Wimbledon semi-final and she's still yet to get to the final. You know, anybody's going to come in feeling absolutely devastated there, but she gave everybody who asked her a question a really thoughtful, considered answer. She could have just sat there and gone yes, no. You know, we've seen people come through the media conferences and just give us absolutely nothing. And, you know, people are picking up on that. And that was the second time she'd been asked about it in the press conference as well, because she'd been asked about it earlier. And, you know, she just said, I was a bit peed off about it. And I'm glad that actually at the time she did it, because it fired her up, and she, you know, kind of credits that to actually getting back into the match.
Care to cross-examine Mr. Plink there? Fine defence of Sabalenka.
I'll just tell you that Carlos Alcaraz has just taken the first set, by the way.
It is. I guess it is the done thing, though, in tennis, isn't it, to apologise, and she hasn't had one. And then she rightly so, she's a bit annoyed about it.
We don't get this in the men's game. That's what I will say. And I'd say it's the casual misogyny that we get with tennis, that they're always looking to set women against each other. And it's not there. And they don't do it with the male players. So, you know, we won't hear whether Carlos Alcaraz has got beef with Novak Djokovic. You know, every now and then you might have a side eye about something, but you just don't get it. You just don't get it. And it's something that's trying to be created that's not there.
What's the latest then at the moment?
I wish we hadn't asked, really.
Yeah. Carlos Alcaraz. So this match, I kind of suggested in my preview that this is going to come down to the serve, and it's something that Carlos Alcaraz has been working on very, very strongly, and it's also a part of the game that he needs to neutralise with Taylor Fritz. He got a break in the first game, 3 straight winners from Alcaraz in that, and a couple of forced errors gave him the advantage, and serving second in the set, he's just taken it 6-4. So it's a great start out for Carlos Alcaraz. Taylor Fritz has had the trainer out because he took a bit of a tumble and was bleeding, and so had to take a medical time out to get that stemmed on his arm. But this match is not over yet, but Carlos Alcaraz is firmly in control at the moment.
Lisa, thanks very much indeed. Just a reminder, by the way, kick-off with Ade Oladipo and Troy Deeney.
I've seen him go so mad. Don't comment, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Anyway, Ade and Troy Deeney are coming live from New York at 7 o'clock tonight. Troy's been out enjoying himself out there, I think. How many hot dogs do you think he's managed to get down? Probably a fair few. They're special guests, and this is very exciting. They include former Chelsea midfielder John Obi Mikel as they look ahead to the Club World Cup final, and top boxing promoters Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn ahead of this weekend's boxing with Usyk against Dubois. Live on talkSPORT next Saturday. This is Clink and Jacobs on talkSPORT in partnership with Toolstation. Get fast track delivery in as little as 30 minutes on the Toolstation app. Next stop, Toolstation.
He plays that villain role very well now. That's crying out for a little bit more attention. It comes with a lot of crazy people. I took it personally and it kind of made me rebel a bit more. To be honest, I don't really care anymore. I'm never going to change.
Good afternoon, this is Clink and Jacobs on talkSPORT. I'm Ollie Clink, I'm in for Paul this afternoon in the cricket. England currently 380 for 9. So we'll check back in with Sam Ellard a bit later on for the latest there. First though, this weekend, it's a big weekend for the world of chess because Chest Fest. Chest Fest?
No, Chess
That's
Fest.
next weekend. Chess Fest is going to be taking over Trafalgar Square, and I'm delighted to say that international chess master Malcolm Payne joins us now. Malcolm, how are you doing?
Good afternoon from Wimbledon. Just sneaked out of centre court to speak to you.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
Thank you very much.
This sounds amazing. 25,000 people expected to attend. So is this an annual thing that takes place every year?
Yeah, this is the 5th edition of it. Last year we had 23,000. And this year, it's been growing every year, and we expect even more. You know, we could have even more. There's a big fun run around Trafalgar Square on Sunday, and we're hoping that some of the people, after they're exhausted from their fun run, they might want to have a more sedate activity in the afternoon.
Oh, fantastic. And some very exciting players are going to be there, but including a 10-year-old superstar. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, so Supratit Banerjee has been world number 1 for his age. And he'll be taking on all comers in what we call the Blitz tent, the Challenge the Master tent, and he'll also be giving simultaneous displays. We've got another 10-year-old whiz called Bodhana Sivanandan, and she was the triple world champion at underage. She won all 24 games.
Wow.
Chess is a bit like cricket. We have like classical chess, slow chess, which is, if you like, the test match version. We have everything in half an hour, which we call rapid, which is like one-day cricket, and then we have Blitz, which is sort of like your chess 2020, and she won every single game in all 3 disciplines. And she was recently on the BBC programme Chess Masters. They had something on BBC Two, and she played 3 of those contestants simultaneously and crushed them all. So she's going to be there too.
That's amazing. It brings me on to quite a strange piece. I mean, I'm not doubting the veracity of it, but I did read it with interest. In the Sunday Times last week, maybe Max Hastings, I think, basically claiming that men are better at chess than women. And it's a physical thing.
Yeah, I think this was a piece by Dominic Lawson in the Sunday Times. And it came about because in some pretty random, unimportant regional junior tournament somewhere in Germany, a trans girl won. And I think that's what generated the piece. I mean, historically, men have always done better than women at chess. And I think there are a lot of reasons for that. There might be something in the, if you like, what we notice in participation levels at primary school is that they're, well, not equal, but they're much closer than they are at secondary school. And it kind of like girls find chess a bit of a silly game. They mature earlier than boys and drop out. And if you look at the number of women who play chess, it's so much fewer than the number of men, which would explain to some, statistically, why you don't get that many amazing players. I mean, Judith Polgar, for example, beat Garry Kasparov and was in the world's top 10. She was the most fantastic player. She's a little bit of an outlier. And there was actually in Britain, there was a woman called Vera Menchik who was killed by a V2 rocket near the end of the war. And she beat a couple of world champions and was one of the best players in the country. So I think there are kind of social reasons for it more than physiological. There may be something, but no scientific research has ever managed to put their finger on why the disparity exists.
Yeah, interesting. And going back to Chess Fest, I'm reading this, which sounds really fascinating. 32 actors will be recreating famous games of chess with commentary from the MC and a grandmaster on a sort of living chessboard. That sounds really interesting.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. That's the centerpiece of it. We have this giant chessboard in Trafalgar Square, and the actors get the moves. They get called out on a microphone, and they've been rehearsing it for weeks. And we're going to play out a game called the Evergreen Game, which was played by a guy called Adolf Anderssen, who was the strongest player probably in the world in the 1850s. And he played this game in 1852 in Berlin, and he sacrificed all his pieces and checkmated brilliantly. But we're going to have 2 possible endings because we've got a Wizard of Oz theme. So the audience in the square will be able to decide how the game ends. Does it end with Anderson winning, or does it end with his opponent winning? We'll have a little vote.
Okay.
Oh, exciting stuff. And Malcolm, obviously, chess is a game that a number of footballers seem to get into. A lot of sports stars, a lot of boxers do it. But Eberechi Eze has been the most recent, I think, to talk about his love of it. And he was playing Richard Branson, I think, the other day. How often do you get big sports stars kind of come along or talk to you about the game?
We know that loads and loads of Premiership footballers are actually playing on chess.com. So Mo Salah, for example, likes to play before every game, before every match for Liverpool.
Wow.
And he's a very, very good player. I mean, we can see that some of the players are really, really good. And Eze actually won a chess tournament. So he won something called the PogChamps tournament, which is, if you like, a celebrity chess tournament. And he turned out to have self-taught. I mean, this is what's so impressive. I think he learnt the moves from Michael Elise when they were both at Palace. But Elise is off at Bayern Munich now, isn't he? Yeah. And he's managed to get himself to a level where he's extremely good. He's got a really good judgment of strategy. He sees what we call the tactics, as in the calculation of moves. He sees it really, really fast. And there's another player who I imagine would be really good is Brian Mbeumo, is quite a keen chess player. And we know that Harry Kane has actually got a pretty good chess rating as well on chess.com. It's actually, we've got to organise a match one day between all these guys. It'd be great fun.
Oh, yeah,
Definitely.
that'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? Premier League of Chess or something like that. Malcolm, enjoy the weekend and enjoy the tennis.
Thank you very much.
There we go.
Good stuff.
Malcolm Payne there. There's been a wicket at Lords for Sam Ellard. England all out.
Yeah, England have been bowled out for 387. They went to lunch on 353 for 7. So India have picked up the final 3 wickets of the innings pretty quickly. The final wicket to go was Bryden Carse. He passed 50 for the first time in his Test career. When Bashir came to the crease at 11, Carse tried to hog the strike really and go big. He got himself into a bizarre position in past off stump, showing all 3 of his stumps, trying to smash Mohammad Siraj into the leg side. But Siraj went full and straight and he bowled Bryden Carse. So England resuming today on 251 for 4 with Root and Stokes to the crease, both in. I think England would have expected to have posted a first innings total of over 400 runs, but Bumrah was quite magnificent in the first half an hour. Bowling Root, bowling Stokes, he got Wokes for a golden duck. Smith and Carse batted beautifully in the final hour of the morning session, both past 50. But yeah, India will be happy with how they've taken these last 3 wickets in pretty quick succession. So that means that England bowled out for 387. And when we resume in about 5 minutes' time, we will see Jofra Archer with the ball in hand in Test cricket for the first time in over 4 years. England bowled out first innings for 387.
Yeah, not enough, I don't think.
Not quite enough. No. Looking forward to seeing Archer have a bowl, but Sam will keep us across that.
They're in a vulnerable position.
They are. By the way, Edgar Berlanga and Hamza Shiraz headline a stacked card from New York with Shakur Stevenson defending his WBC lightweight title against William Zabeda this Sunday. It's live only on DAZN. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
Boxing update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
Looks like Jordan Henderson's making a return to the Premier League. The former Liverpool captain's moving to London, more specifically Brentford. He became a free agent this week after leaving Ajax, but couldn't return to the Prem until the 1st of July due to Saudi tax reasons. Alan Pardew thinks this is an inspired move from the Bees.
They know that the performances Henderson's put in at Ajax have been of the level. Okay, they wouldn't take him otherwise. But the added bonus, of course, is the leadership that he brings. You know, with Norgard going on to the Arsenal, it seems like a perfect replacement to me.
Meanwhile, Daniel Levy's been getting busy this transfer window. Tottenham have secured Mohamed Kudus, and now Morgan Gibbs-White is on the way. It's thought the 25-year-old will complete his medical later on today. And weak and feeble is how David Campesi's described the Lions, saying they lack the spark to strike fear into the Wallabies.
You've lost Daly, who was playing very good rugby. Kinghorn's injured. You haven't got that flair like, Driscoll in the back line or someone like that, But again, it's if he doesn't play, I think you guys are in a bit of trouble.
Blair Kinghorn is touch and go for the Lions after he sprained his knee. talkSPORT will have you covered when the Lions take on Australia and New Zealand's combined 15 tomorrow morning from 10 a.m.
Good afternoon, this is Clink and Jacobs here on talkSPORT. I'm Ollie Clink, I'm in for Paul this afternoon. Just seen Jofra Archer warming up a bit. Don't think he's going to open the bowling though,
I don't think he is, no. But we'll see.
We'll see how that all gets on. And Sam Ellard is watching for us. Delighted to say, though, that joining us now is the former Liverpool and Nottingham Forest forward Stan Collymore.
And
Stan,
cricket fan.
And big cricket fan. Stan,
yes, Andy, I was thinking about, I've got that. It's only taken me 54 years, but and I've been to a few cricket matches, actually. I have been to some Ashes action over the years. I've been to Newlands in South Africa, Edgbaston, Headingley. But I didn't get it. And I think that actually with me, in my case, the absolute proliferation of football to be a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, 365-day of the year sport has now made me get to summertime and look at something that's different. I think it's been a great test so far. I've been absolutely fascinated by Bumrah and his bowling. And I've got there.
Well done.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff.
Brilliant.
On the football, though, Stan, Jordan Henderson, it looks like he's on his way to Brentford. What are you thinking about that move?
Yeah, I think it's a good move for all parties. Keith Andrews, new manager, will want a trusty lieutenant in the dressing room. What better player to have than Jordan Henderson? For Jordan Henderson, it gives him an opportunity potentially to get on the coaching ladder. I know that's something that he really wants to do. So whether it be the first season or two, player coach, giving Keith Andrews help in the dressing room, geeing up players, giving the benefit of his experience, and then being allowed at Brentford, which is a really, Andy knows more than anybody, but a really progressive club. They do like to make creative decisions. Is that I wouldn't be at all surprised if a year, 2 years, 3 year hence, that if Jordan stays the distance there, that he's elevated to some senior coaching position. So I think it works for all parties, but primarily for a new manager, new head coach, You want somebody in the dressing room that is your temperature gauge, and no better man than Jordan Henderson for Keith Andrews to be able to lean on.
Right, we should come to the Club World Cup. I mean, you've got an interesting view on this. It's going to take it out of Chelsea, isn't it? The fact they've had to play for so long, but they will get 3 weeks off. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is, Andy, it's the unknown mental and physical fatigue element in individual players. I think since the second half of the Conference League final, it's just been an upward trajectory for Chelsea. Lots of smiles. They won a trophy, got the monkey off their back. Now they're in a final. I think it'd be very difficult to beat Paris Saint-Germain. That I do think they are the best football team in the world at the moment. But if they were to win it, I think that although the Club World Cup is nowhere near the kind of standard of the Champions League, is that Chelsea may look back in 30, 40 years' time in the same way that Real Madrid have and say, we were there at the beginning. We are, this is football heritage. So I don't dismiss the achievement at all of getting to a final. I think the problem is, as a player, when you get to November, December, January, you've played your Champions League games, you've been in a position whereby, the clocks have gone back, you're now starting to grind out results, is that 2 or 3 or even 4 weeks, I say holiday, a lot of players will be back at the training ground and just will have their minutes monitored in terms of what they're doing at the training ground. If they had 3 full weeks off, Andy, I'd be with you on that. But I think that footballers are their own worst enemy. A lot of them will have a week or 2 off, want to get back to the training ground, be seen to be ready for the season and saying all the right things. But that may come at a cost for Chelsea come November, December, January. And I think that for the manager or a head coach, they have to look at it and say, well, who needs their minutes managed in terms of whether it be physical or mental fatigue? And once you start changing a winning team, or 1 or 2 start to get injuries, or 1 or 2 start to drop off, that making 3 or 4 changes, as we know in the Premier League, can be quite damaging. The path of least resistance is usually, for the team that wins the Premier League, the best way. So I think that Liverpool will have mostly been well rested. Manchester City, of course, went out of the Club World Cup fairly early. Arsenal will have been well rested and all made additions. So I still think the 3 clubs that I just mentioned will be ahead of Chelsea. It's not impossible that they don't win the league, and they've got a very good squad. But it'd be fascinating to see. Conversely, of course, you've got PSG that are going to be able to play and make lots of changes in Liga, because Liga simply doesn't have the physical or mental demands that the Premier League has.
Yeah, talk to us about Arsenal, Stan, because it looks like they're going to be getting Noni Madueke for around 52 million. They're linked very heavily with Victor Gyökeres as well. What are you making of their business and potential business?
Gyökeres, yes. I mean, they need a striker. There was a graphic that came up on Sky Sports News the other day of Mikel Arteta's forward signings, and it's been a real mixed bag. There hasn't been anybody that Mikel Arteta has signed as an out-and-out striker that you can say has been probably even a 7 out of 10, never mind an 8, a 9 or a 10 that you need if you're starting to get the kind of Haaland numbers. Gyökeres is a gamble because he's played for Cov and he's played for Sporting Lisbon in what I would call a tier 2 league. But it's a gamble that they have to make. They need a central striker and he's available. In terms of Noni Madueke, not for me. I think that there's a reason why Chelsea are prepared to let him go, albeit for good money. I think that if I was going for a wide man, I would have probably had Eze at the top of that list if you're looking at a small group of players that have played in the Premier League. Fans get excited about any incomings at this time of the season, particularly as we're starting to tick later on into the window. But Gyökeres gets a 7, 8 out of 10 for me in terms of need for Arsenal. Madueke at the moment, I would like to have seen Arsenal go all out for Eze. I think he would have really added something. Not convinced that Madueke over the piece will.
United look like they're in trouble. I mean, it's not gone well this off-season. It should have gone better than this.
Yeah. Andy, just one moment, because we're just going to head back over to Lords.
I see. He is going to open.
For Jofra Archer.
That's good, because Woke stunk the place out on the first over.
He did, yeah. The first over going for 13, Sam Ellard.
Yeah, it wasn't the best start from Chris Wokes. That's first ball to Yashavshi Jaiswal was short and wide, and it was slapped through the offside for 4. So yeah, 13 runs from the first over, but this is a moment that England cricket fans and of course Jofra Archer has waited for a long time. For the first time since February 2021, more than 4 years ago, Jofra Archer has the ball in hand in Test match cricket. He's bowling from the pavilion end. He's got Yashavshi Jaiswal on strike. Here comes Jofra Archer, first ball back in Test cricket, and it's a decent ball that Jaiswal tried to work into the leg side, took thick outside edge, and it's going to be a dot ball. Lots and lots of people will be looking to see how quickly that ball's come down from Jofra Archer. You'd imagine, gents, that sort of easing his way back into Test cricket could be sort of short and sharp bursts from Jofra Archer, maybe 4 over spells. But yeah, a great sight here at Lords, guys. 6 years since we saw Jofra Archer burst into the scene in that incredible 2019 summer when he, of course, won England the World Cup in that super over, bowled that incredible spell here to Steve Smith at Lords as Archer once again comes in to Jaiswal. And Jaiswal plays an expansive shot, trying to work a short and wide ball through the offside. Just went past the outside edge. You can hear Lords are enjoying this. Archer's got a spring in his step, and that, gents, was close for a wicket for Jofra Archer, second ball. But Jofra Archer back for England in Test match cricket.
Looking dangerous, isn't it? Don't forget you can listen to live commentary if you're overseas on the talkSPORT YouTube cricket channel. Stan Collingwood, sorry about that. You were just chatting there about Manchester United.
Yeah, I think that the Deadwoods, led by Marcus Rashford, I'm sure many have notifications on transfers through the summer and suggestion that Barcelona are potentially going to go all in for him now, having missed out on likes of Luis Diaz. He's one of 4 or 5.
Stan, sorry, I'm going to interrupt you once again because Sam Mellon, there has been a wicket.
What a moment at Lords. Jofra Archer back for the first time since 2021 in his 3rd ball, has got a wicket. Raw emotion on the face of Jofra Archer. He found the outside edge of Yashavshi Jaiswal's bat. Good catch, second slip from Harry Brook. A ball that just moved away. Jaiswal trying to work it into the leg side. Outside edge, Brook takes the catch, and Jofra Archer runs away, mobbed by teammates, over 4 years away from Test match cricket. 3rd ball back, 90 miles an hour. He gets Jaiswal. Welcome back, Jofra Archer. India, 13 for 1.
Yeah, that was a great delivery.
What a ball that is from Jofra Archer. Brilliant. And like Sam says, 3rd ball back. And there we go, a wicket for Jofra. Brilliant to see. Stan, I promise you, we'll let you get to the end of your point about Manchester
United.
United.
A hat-trick.
These Bayesian boys you see coming over here, nicking wickets for England. Yeah, I think that United have got to get rid of the Deadwood quickly, and they've got to make 1 or 2 signings. It was very promising earlier on. Cunha got done very early, and Buemo is I only want to sign for Man United. That's still not done yet. But I think that for Manchester United, you don't want 5 or 6 players moping around the training ground, even if they've been bombed out in this feigned bomb squad. When players get bombed out en masse, is that they still have mates at the club, they still have mates in the dressing room. So for a new season that Manchester United have to do better, they've got to. It is important that some of these outgoings, like Rashford, led by Rashford, of course, are gone sooner rather than later.
Stan, you might have seen the news that Forest are considering legal action, we understand, over what they see as an illegal approach for Morgan Gibbs-White from Tottenham. What's your reaction to all of that? And the fact that Forest, of course, could be losing Gibbs-White and Elanga.
Yeah, I think that I wrote in my court offside column that letting Elanga go for the top of what you could get for him was good business. I don't think Elanga is worth much more than 55 million. So that represents, 30-40 million pounds of profit for Nottingham Forest. But I then went on to say if they were going to lose 1 or 2 more of Milenkovic, Anderson, Murillo or Gibbs-White, then it sends a signal that Nottingham Forest are a selling club. And I think that the news yesterday, the release clause was triggered. My immediate reaction, and I was chatting to Forest fans on social media, was that it was too low. They bought him for £42 million. Even if that was including add-ons and instalments, that's only a £20 million increase. So I would have thought that they would have at least, when he signed his new contract, gone for 70, 75 million, because a release clause is there to be prohibitive as much as anything. And a 60 million release clause for a player that's arguably got his best years ahead of him isn't prohibitive. Proof that a club that finished, 14th, 15th in Spurs last season, despite them winning the Europa League, could afford that release clause. In terms of them, any legal action from Nottingham Forest, they may try and drag it out, and Mr. Marinakis might try and get Morgan in the dressing room or in his office and say, sign a new contract. We're going to make you the highest player in history. We're the best players in the Premier League. I think that would be important, but I think the horse has bolted. Once you've sat down with another club, particularly one that can offer you Champions League football, then it's very difficult. In terms of Forest and a spurious attempt at legal action, it would be very difficult, I would imagine, for any football club to be able to prove the transfer release clause that information was given out from Morgan Gibbs-White's camp. The other thing is, as well, of course, is that what's the point of having a release clause if other clubs don't know what it is to be able to trigger it? So I think that this is an attempt for Nottingham Forest to say, but not on our patch, we're going to make it as difficult as possible. But in my experience, once you've sat down with a club, they've offered you wages, they can offer you Champions League, a wonderful stadium in the capital, that unfortunately that means Morgan Gibbs-White will be on his way out.
Stan, thanks very much indeed.
Stan. Enjoy the cricket.
All the best.
Rest of the
Have a good one.
Yeah, well, he will be enjoying it. A wicket maiden then for Archer in his first over back, and he's walking back now. What a return so far for Archer. And in just a moment, we're going to be chatting to Curtis Campher, who broke a cricketing record yesterday, the first male professional to take 5 wickets from 5 balls. He joins us next on talkSPORT.
He plays that villain role very well now. That's crying out for a little bit more attention. It comes with a lot of crazy people. I took it personally and it kind of made me rebel a bit more. To be honest, I don't really care anymore. I'm never going to change.
Good afternoon, this is Clinton Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Let's get a quick update from the men's semi-final at Wimbledon. Lisa O'Sullivan.
Carlos Alcaraz leading Taylor Fritz by a set. It's on serve in the second. Alcaraz coming out to serve 4-5. Absolutely blisteringly hot here, 30 degrees in the outside, so it's hotter on centre court as Alcaraz looks to level things up 4-5 in the second, leading by a set.
Lisa, thanks very much indeed. Now, you might have seen yesterday that the Irish international cricketer Curtis Campher broke a new record. He became the first male professional to take 5 wickets from 5 balls whilst playing for Munster Reds. And I'm delighted to say Curtis joins us now. Curtis, how you doing?
Yeah, all good. Thanks, and yourselves, guys.
Yeah,
it's an amazing feat. Well done. I mean, absolutely brilliant. And I was reading about it, and apparently you weren't quite sure you'd done it. Is that right?
I think I didn't realize I got a hat trick just because of the way the overs broke. And I was kind of doing a few things as captain, just trying to make sure the lads were on over 8 and kind of setting the field and doing a few bits. So I kind of realised after the wicket happened, one of the fielders who caught the ball was like, "That's a hat trick," and I was just like, "Well, yeah, it is then."
Yeah, you've got a bit of a history for this, haven't you? I believe you took 4 in 4 one time, which is also remarkable.
Yeah, it's just a bit of luck, I guess.
No,
doing a bit like, but. Yeah, it's a bit of bowling. It's what it is. You've got to take the rough with the smooth because there's plenty of days where you're getting hit for 4 boundaries and 4 balls. So I think you've got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah. The 5th wicket was the final wicket, though, as well. Do you reckon you'd have gone on to get even more?
That's true. Next time you bowl, you're on a double hat trick next time you bowl.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I don't think so. I don't think that it works like that. But hey, it would have been cool to give it a go. But 5 and 5. I think I'll just stick with that, to be honest.
Yeah, it's funny because obviously we saw earlier this week there was the cricketer that didn't take the Brian Lara record. Were you tempted to bowl a wide for your 5th just to respect the record?
Maybe. Maybe it deserves to be a legend, not just me. Maybe I should have just overstepped or maybe bowled a slow ball or try to miss the stumps or something like that. But it is what it is. I think I don't think I have as much control as when batting. So.
I remember many years ago, Paul and I were doing a show in Dublin, and we had the Irish cricket people on, and they were really hopeful for the sport. I mean, I'm talking about quite a long time, maybe 15 years ago. And it has developed pretty well, hasn't it, in terms of international performances, T20, even test matches. So it's coming on, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think the more times we can get out and about and play the big dogs and try to compete against them. I know we've shown in the last while beaten the likes of England, Pakistan, the West Indies just recently too. It really does show that it doesn't matter who we come up against. If we play a good game of cricket, we can beat the best.
It was a real collection of wickets as well, wasn't it? Which was your favourite out of the 5?
I don't really know. It's a bit of a blur, but maybe I'd say the last one just because it's the 5th one. I knew exactly what I wanted to do: go wide of the crease, and just try hit the middle of off stump, and it kind of worked. So maybe.
So it was a bit of a cartwheel of the stumps, I think, wasn't it?
Bowl's always better than my method of dismissal, caught in the deep. That's how I get my wickets.
Talking down the one corner at Cow Corner as my favourite wicket, but believe it be.
It kept the dream alive.
Good stuff.
Yeah. I don't know if you've been keeping an eye on the test match between England and India and what you've made of that so far.
Yeah, I actually just had it on in the background there, and I saw Joffrey got his first wicket back. So yeah, it looks really good. Looks like it's going to be really hot and hard work for the bowlers to get a few wickets. But yeah, I'm sure the boys will be in the sun there baking.
92 miles an hour, that last one. It does make a difference, doesn't it? That
100%. I think whenever the ball speeds go above 85 and close to 90 and above 90, it doesn't matter how good you are, the reaction time is just that little bit less, and your margin for error is even smaller.
And what's coming up next for you in terms of Munster Reds? Who are you up against next? And like Andy says, you're technically on for a six wickets in a row, aren't you?
Yeah, well, theoretically, I am. I think the next Reds game is a 50-over game in a couple of weeks' time, and then obviously England come over at the end of September. So just kind of gearing up to some T20 cricket for then.
Oh, good stuff.
Brilliant.
Well done,
congratulations.
Curtis.
Great performance.
Cheers, guys. Thank you so much.
There we go, Curtis Campher there. I mean, that is some feat, isn't it? And it's interesting, isn't it? He says it was because it was across 2 different overs. He hadn't really even realised he'd done it.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Which is fantastic for him. Now, if you're a golf fan, don't forget you can head over to TalkSport 2 now and over the weekend to listen to all the best action from the Genesis Scottish Open. Rory McIlroy's just launched himself back into contention with a 5-under 65 earlier today. Well done, Rory, as he and everyone else gear up for the Open Championship next week at Royal Troon, which will also be live on TalkSport 2. This is Clink and Jacobs here on TalkSport in partnership with Toolstation. Download the Toolstation app for fast track delivery on thousands of products. Next stop, Toolstation.
Looks like Jordan Henderson's making return to the Premier League. The former Liverpool captain's moving to London, more specifically Brentford. He became a free agent this week after leaving Ajax, but couldn't return to the Prem until the 1st of July due to Saudi tax reasons. Alan Pardew thinks this is an inspired move from the Bees.
They know that the performances Henderson's put in at Ajax have been of the level. Okay, they wouldn't take him otherwise. But the added bonus, of course, is the leadership that he brings. You know, with Norgard going on to the Arsenal, it seems like a perfect replacement to me.
Meanwhile, Daniel Levy's been getting busy this transfer window. Tottenham have secured Mohamed Kudus, and now Morgan Gibbs-White is on the way. It's thought the 25-year-old will complete his medical later on today. talkSPORT's chief football correspondent Alex Crook reckons the Spurs owner means business.
Obviously, what he's doing here that he didn't do when they reached the Champions League final is he's capitalising on that success, and he's trying to build from a position of strength. Having just won that Europa League title, guaranteed Champions League football for next season. I don't think Mohamed Kudus would have gone there were they not in the Champions League.
You can find all the latest transfer news at talksport.com. Liverpool's friendly against Preston will go ahead this weekend, with plans underway to pay tribute to Diogo Jota and Andre Silva after their passing. A minute's silence will be observed, with digital tributes put on display. Both sets of players will be wearing black armbands. And weak and feeble is how David Campazzi's described the Lions, saying they lack the spark to strike fear into the Wallabies.
You've lost Daly, who was playing very good rugby. Kinghorn's injured. You haven't got that flair like Driscoll in the back line or someone like that, But again, it's if he doesn't play, I think you guys are in a bit of trouble.
Blair Kinghorn is touch and go for the Lions after he sprained his knee. talkSPORT will have you covered when the Lions take on Australia and New Zealand's combined 15 tomorrow morning from 10 a.m.
This is Clinton Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Very good afternoon to you. A bit later on, we'll bring you a Clips of the Week special. It's an Adrian Durham special.
Oh, yes.
Which is very exciting. Todd Macklin will join us a bit later too for a roundup of all the action from over in the States. And Ben Jacobs will bring us a transfer roundup as well. First, though, PSG take on Chelsea in the Club World Cup final on Sunday, live on talkSPORT.
In the springtime, they've beaten Inter by 5-0. Can Europe's best finish the summer on top of the world? There's an opportunity for Gonzalo Ramos, who turns and wraps it in to make it 4-0 to Paris Saint-Germain.
Kind of further confirmation that PSG are the most impressive team in the world at the moment.
But I'm really fascinated to see where Chelsea are at. Wide towards João Pedro, left-hand side of the penalty area. He's shown the inside, he takes the route, and he hammers the ball home in majestic fashion.
This is the Club World Cup, best club in the world they are here.
The argument will be made if they were to win this tournament, which I don't think they will do if they get PSG, is that they're the best team in the world. It's a silly argument because they're not the best team in the world. They've won the inaugural tournament and the draw's been incredibly favourable.
We're a keeper away. I still think we're a keeper away from being a side that can do something.
Enzo Maresca and his men will know they've got their work cut out. Full time, Paris Saint-Germain 4, Real Madrid 0.
Yeah, Club World Cup final on the way on Sunday night. Do you agree with Jason Cundy there? You're a keeper away from doing something, which I believe probably means a title challenge.
Yeah, I think so. I think, and the team itself needs seasoning. I mean, they've come on a lot in 12 months, and even another 12 months, I think they will be ready to challenge. I think this season will be fairly similar to last year. I mean, I still think it's going to be Manchester City and Liverpool, really.
Tough task on Sunday as well, because PSG look absolutely electric. And joining us to chat about that is Eric Bilderman, French football expert. Eric, how are you?
Hey, good afternoon. How are you?
Good, Eric. What we want to ask you, the reason we've got you in is, have they got any weaknesses? PSG.
Yeah, if there is a weakness, we can say that they will lack one of the central defender, Pacho, who will be substituted by Beraldo. And Beraldo, by far, is not the same quality player as the regular one. Hernandez also got a red card in the not the previous round, the round before. So the defense, if there is something to say about weakness, that might be the one. But as it is an 11-player team defending together, attacking together, whatever you can say on individual players who can be a weakness, but the group is a strength. And the strength is the group by far better than individual weakness.
Well, I don't know what they put this down to, but their energy and their fitness levels, especially in this heat, but also throughout last season, is incredible. The press is amazing. I mean, how does he get the players to do that? Is it in the training, or is it somehow he gets them to buy into it?
I think there is something mental in it. All professional team, they do work very well physically. Every single team like Chelsea or Real Madrid or Paris Saint-Germain should be in the same physical thinking. But at Paris Saint-Germain, Luis Enrique, I think, have mentally changed the spirit of the club. The club was built under the Qatari, under individual process, about starlight, about individual quality, not as a team, not as a group, and never before Luis Enrique, a manager, was the key man at the club. The key man was Nasser El Khelaifi. For the first time ever in the last couple of years, Luis Enrique has chosen the players, and also is the man in the dressing room, the key man in the dressing room. It's not Neymar, it's not Messi, it's not Mbappe, it's not Nasser El Khelaifi. So altogether, I think mentally, every single player can give the 5 or the 10% extra boost in his individual and collective behavior.
It's going to be interesting because for years teams have copied Pep Guardiola and the style, and there is a relation to the great Barcelona team in this PSG team. But the way they play, they don't. So many teams now pass the ball sideways and backwards and sideways, all ball retention. Whereas PSG, they play in straight lines. They play forward, don't they?
Yeah, I think every generation of, let's say, 5 or 10 years, a football team is doing something new. Guardiola, after the Barcelona way of thinking football, have adapted it to Man City, and it's something, a kind of a copycat of what Barcelona was doing before that. And we know that after some years, there is the final curtain of a tactical issue. And I think Paris Saint-Germain has changed and is now the team that will give something about, I would say, modern football or update football. And in the next couple of years, I do believe that many teams will try to do a kind of Paris Saint-Germain tactic, a kind of Paris Saint-Germain technique, pressing, a kind of Paris Saint-Germain straightforward football. Like if you look at the last 10 years, everybody was trying to do a kind of Man City, a kind of Barcelona football without having the ability of doing it. So I think we are a bit of a kind of a small revolution brought by Paris Saint-Germain.
Eric, Ousmane Dembele has been absolutely excellent, in this run that PSG have had. Do you see him now as the favourite to get the Ballon d'Or?
Oh, it's funny because I do believe that most of the people do think he is the favorite, and I do believe also he is. But in the French camp, in the French fans, in the Paris Saint-Germain fans, and the Paris Saint-Germain, I would say, follow-up media, we do think players like Hakimi have done such a great, fantastic job all over the season. And sometimes we do feel that when there will be the votation process, that some will vote for Dembele, some will vote for Hakimi, some will vote for Neves. This team is like such a team spirit that maybe some votation might split, and that maybe harm Dembele's chances.
And finally, Eric, how many goals do you think Chelsea will win by on Sunday?
I don't want to be too optimistic or too, let's say 3, we will be fair enough happy for the final curtain of this season, and the next season to be in a couple of weeks, because then when we finish with Chelsea, we have Tottenham to play in the Super Cup. So our English friends, and like you and myself, I think we will have new opportunities to entertain.
They've beaten every top English team, haven't they? I mean, and Chelsea and Spurs will be complete, really. So it's amazing. All right, Eric. Well, thank you very much. We're all looking forward to the game. You more than me, probably, but there we go.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's funny you mentioned about the fitness, because Luis Enrique is known for being an absolute fitness fanatic. Goes on all sorts of marathons and sometimes takes on the players in pre-season and is still the fittest. So clearly he's drilled it into his players too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's check in at Lords then, shall we? How's Jofra Archer getting on? Sam Ellard.
Yeah, he's looking really good, Ollie. India are 31 for 1. Carayol's got 9. He's batting nicely this series at the top of the order. Karen Nair is in at number 3. He is 9 not out, but really the test match, maybe the whole summer was going to be about. Finally, we've seen the return to test match cricket for Jofra Archer. It took him all of 3 balls to get his first wicket back, and then he nearly there had a second wicket. Bowled a short ball to Karen Nair, who just tried to work it into the leg side, but it took his glove and just beat the fielder Ben Stokes at leg slip. But Archer's bowling really nicely here. He's got 1 ball left of his 4th over. Figures of 1 for 8. The wicket he got was Yashasvi Jaiswal finding the outside edge of his bat. Good catch, 2nd slip by Harry Brook, but he's bowling nicely. He's bowled quite a few deliveries in excess of 90 miles an hour. He bowled a really good short ball to KR Rahul in this over that really kicked off the surface and nearly to the edge of KR Rahul's bat. So Jofra Archer's got 1 ball left of his 4th over. He's picked up the wicket of Jaiswal. India are 35 for 1, trailing England by 356 runs.
You were saying to me in the break, Andy, maybe they need to save Archer up a bit for Gill.
Yeah, he's got a very good record against him in the IPL, so, but obviously, look, he'll bowl. He won't bowl more. Has he bowled now? 4 overs?
4 overs, something like that.
Yeah, maybe another one.
Yeah.
Max, I think.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep you across all of that. This is Clink and Jacobs on talkSPORT in partnership with Toolstation. Delivery in as little as 30 minutes with Fast Track. Next stop, Toolstation.
plays that villain role very well now. That's crying out for a little bit more attention. It comes with a lot of crazy people. I took it personally and it kind of made me rebel a bit more. To be honest, I don't really care anymore. I'm never going to change.
This is Hawksbee and Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Let's quickly check in at Wimbledon and the men's semi-final, which looks like it's hanging in the balance, Lisa O'Sullivan.
Yeah, that second set was going one way then the other, and you kind of felt, though, that Carlos Alcaraz was in complete control, but a double fault as he was serving to take it to the tie-break, and then a little bit of a glitch, and Taylor Fritz has levelled the match. One set all, but Alcaraz has refocused, and he's just broken the American to lead 2-1 in the third.
Thanks very much indeed, Lisa. Now, of course, that music means that we are joined now by Todd Macklin for a latest look at what's going on in the States. How you doing, Todd?
Ollie, how are you?
Yeah, really well, thank you. Thanks very much indeed. If we start with a story about the LA Chargers, because their running back has suffered quite an interesting injury.
Yeah, well, we just had the 4th of July, right? Which means fireworks in the United States. And yeah, as happens with a lot of people, there's been an accident with some fireworks. So Najee Harris, I guess, was lighting off some fireworks, took one in and around the eye. Everything he's been cleared that, listen, it's just kind of a superficial injury. But it's interesting because it kind of brings back memories of a former football player named Jason Pierre-Paul that lost 2.5 fingers in a fireworks accident at a 4th of July, about a decade ago. So it's just, hey, listen, it's one of those things that you just have to be careful when you're lighting off fireworks. And, we've had another accident again.
It reminded me of Mario Balotelli. Do you remember when he was setting off a few fireworks and stuff in his own home? I think.
Oh, yeah, not a great idea.
No, not really.
It's all right if they're indoor fireworks.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Now, Cooper Flagg, he was the NBA #1 draft pick, and he's made his sort of pro debut, hasn't he?
He did. So the Vegas Summer League just started up, and it is for rookies to kind of get their first kind of taste of, and they're not regular season games, they're just exhibition games, but their first kind of action in front of the teams that have picked them in the draft. And so Cooper Flagg faced LeBron James Jr., so Bronny James and his LA Lakers last night. And Cooper Flagg, he said it was probably his worst shooting game of his career, going back to his university days. But his Dallas Mavericks still beat Bronny James' LA Lakers 89-87. And although Cooper Flagg didn't play well, he made a big block near the end of the game, a big assist on the winning basket. So a lot to build on. And again, no one is too worried that he didn't shoot the ball well in his first Summer League game. I just think the other things he did impressed a lot of people last night.
Now, for many years, the colleges in the US earned fortunes out of sport, out of TV deals, and the coaches got paid a fortune. But the players always played for nothing. They were amateurs and they were playing for scholarships and things like that. But that's changed, hasn't it? And Texas Tech have come up with what seems on the face of it a ridiculous amount of money to sign a student.
Yeah, they signed Victor Ojo, who's an offensive lineman, and they're paying him over $5 million American dollars over a 3-year contract. Listen, this is what's happening now in college sports is they have this money now that they can spend on getting what they perceive to be the best athletes to their program. And Texas Tech, which, you know, for the longest time was more a basketball school than a football school, has really come on in the last few years, and they see themselves as a football power and one that could compete for a national title this year.
It is mad, though, isn't it? I mean, what are the other students at Texas Tech, mate?
$5 million. That's some Freshers Week, isn't it?
It's true.
Well, they got it, and that's the thing. That's how it works. They've got, you know, some $20 million or so, I think it is, to kind of spend on the different athletes. They perceive this guy to be that important, right? Where they're willing to spend that much money on him. I think it's, you know, if you just base it on the year, it's about 8% of what their total is. But they've made a huge investment in football. And listen, if you're a good football team, a college football team, if you spend $20 million a year, you know, if you're a good one, you can make hundreds of millions of dollars. So again, it's worth the investment if you can have great success at it.
And presumably it's going to stop players jumping to the pros early if they're getting paid. I mean, that must be part of the idea, I suppose.
It is 100%. And that's why you probably have in football. In football, they tend to play longer anyways. But you're right. You now are going to look at it and think, hey, listen, is it better for me to take this money I'm getting from the university or, you know, risk it? It may take less money. And it depends on where I'm drafted. And you're absolutely right that you're probably going to see more people stay in college longer.
Talk to me about Lionel Messi as well. Todd, he's broken an MLS record.
He has. He scored a brace in 4 straight games. I didn't realize that was the MLS record, but It is. Listen, I think we all expected Messi to dominate in MLS. And he has for the most part. The team probably hasn't had the success, but he certainly has. So yeah, game number 5, I guess, you know, a brace in 5 straight games could happen this weekend. His Miami team faces Nashville. But again, you know, it just shows he's 38 years old. And I get it, the competition is not what he's played against in the past. But it's still, for him to be the only guy to do it, still says something about the height of the accomplishment.
Yeah, it's, I mean, they had some decent results in the World Club Cup, but it wasn't great in the end. And how's it gone down over in North America? I mean, we've seen some decent crowds and we've seen some interest in it. Has it? Would you say it's been a success?
I think it has, because everything, and even, you know, we talked about Messi, everything is about putting soccer on the forefront as we lead up to the World Cup, right? Where the U.S. and Mexico and Canada are hosting games for it. So I think the fact that Chelsea, right, got to the final, I think helps, because there's such a big Premier League team, and we've talked about how big the Premier League is in the U.S. So I think anytime soccer is in the headlines, which the Club World Cup was in the U.S., it's a good thing.
Okay.
Todd, thanks very much indeed.
Thanks, Todd. Have a good weekend. Lovely.
Thanks, boys.
There we go. Todd Macklin with the latest from the States. Should we check back in at Lords and see how England are getting on against India at Sam Ellard?
India 41-1, rebuilding after a pretty incredible first couple of overs of the India innings, which saw Jofra Archer with his just his 3rd ball back in Test match cricket after 4.5 years away, taking the wicket of Yashasvi Jaiswal. The second wicket partnership is worth 28 runs. KR Rahul, who's looked really solid and well organised throughout this whole series, at the top of the order, has got 11 runs to his name. Karen Nair's got 17. Archer's bowled 5 overs, figures of 1 for 16. Earlier on, England bowled out for 387. The day started with Joe Root getting to his 37 Test match 100 with the first ball of the day. England bowled out for 387. India 41-1, trailing by 346 runs.
Sam, while we've got you, a bit earlier on we were talking about the fare at Lords, and apparently the apple crumble is unbeatable in terms of cricketing food. And then Jeremy Cowan was bigging up the chickpeas and the potatoes and stuff. What have you made of the food out there?
I have to say, I'm not sure if either of you guys have been up to the media centre at Lords. It is absolutely exquisite. They have the best thing I think about the media centre at Lords, guys, is they have a barista up here, so you can get proper posh coffee. You can order a latte. They've got iced lattes. It is absolutely exquisite. I feel very lucky to be here.
John likes a macchiato.
Thank you very much. I just like a simple latte. I keep things pretty simple. But and also, I mean, lots of people have been here for a lot longer than I have, so they've never ever seen a media centre as busy as this. I mean, literally, it is absolutely rammed. As I'm sure you know, lots and lots of India broadcasters here. Yeah, summer spectacle at Lords.
Wow, lovely stuff. There we go. Sam, thanks very much. Indeed, we'll get another update from Lisa a bit later. Ben Jacobs is going to join us too to go through lots of different transfer stories, including Madueke to Arsenal, which looks like it's gathering some pace, and we'll chat to him about that Nottingham Forest story, because they're not happy about the potential for Gibbs White to go on to Tottenham Hotspur too. This is talkSPORT. Clink and Jacobs in partnership with Toolstation. Get thousands of products delivered to you with Fast Track on the Toolstation app. Next stop, Toolstation.
Looks like Jordan Henderson's making a return to the Premier League. The former Liverpool captain's moving to London, more specifically Brentford. He became a free agent this week after leaving Ajax, but couldn't return to the Prem until the 1st of July due to Saudi tax reasons. Alan Pardew thinks this is an inspired move from the Bees.
They know that the performances Henderson's put in at Ajax have been of the level. Okay, they wouldn't take him otherwise. But the added bonus, of course, is the leadership that he brings. You know, with Norgard going on to the Arsenal, it seems like a perfect replacement to me.
Meanwhile, Daniel Levy's been getting busy this transfer window. Tottenham have secured Mohamed Kudus, and now Morgan Gibbs-White is on the way. It's thought the 25-year-old will complete his medical later on today. And weak and feeble is how David Campasi's described the Lions, saying they lack the spark to strike fear into the Wallabies.
You've lost Daly, who was playing very good rugby. Kinghorn's injured. You haven't got that flair like Driscoll in the back line or someone like that, But again, it's if he doesn't play, I think you guys are in a bit of trouble.
Blair Kinghorn is touch and go for the Lions after he sprained his knee. talkSPORT will have you covered when the Lions take on Australia and New Zealand's combined 15 tomorrow morning from 10 a.m.
Of the week on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Next stop, Toolstation.
talkSPORT clips of the week.
Yeah, time now for clips of the week, thanks to Toolstation. Andy, do you want to kick us off with our Adrian Durham special?
Yes, of course. We say what a brilliant presenter Adrian is before we actually tear him to pieces. But he is. He's wonderful. Anyway, we kick off with him in the stands after a few too many Pims.
5 without a win. They've lost 4 of those. It's big trouble. Stoke 3, QPR 0.
Ilham Melzier has had an absolute shocker.
Well, it certainly has.
Yeah, it's all over the shop. Yeah. Need some of those non-alcoholic Pims, I think. Here is Adrian calling out one of his talkSPORT co-workers.
If they were to beat Manchester City after that, they're in command of the league.
Danny Murphy just dropped one there.
Dirty boy.
Never nice in the press box, though.
No. Sticking with co-workers, what has Jeff Peters done to deserve this?
Red card of the City ground for talkSPORT's Jeff Peters.
Yes, those terrible toppers he does during the birthday spread.
Yeah, straight red for those. Now, here's the great Adrian Durham reporting on an incredible turn of events at Ellen Road.
So Norwich 2 apiece, leads 2-1 up, having been 2-1 down. Interesting times.
Well, it is really. How did that happen?
Very interesting times, Aid.
Now, off to the Emirates, where Adrian may have had a bit too much pre-match pie.
Here on talkSPORT live at the Emirates, it's Arsenal against Monaco. Winner goes into the all-important top 8.
Oh, dear.
The pies are good at the Emirates, to be fair. Maybe he's had 1 or 2 there.
There's a hot dog.
Here is Mr. Durham announcing an England legend's birthday.
Aaron Hughes, who announced his international retirement after last night's victory, was capped 112 times for the country. Second most caps of any player for his national team overall, behind Pat Jennings. I think it's his birthday today, Pat Jennings. 119.
Wow, tremendous, isn't he? Still very strong.
Looks well. Yeah. Did you get a telegram from the king?
I think he would have done, yeah. Now, we know he's already a man of talent, so should we add poetry to the list?
They want to savour every last drop of this occasion, and the Eintracht Frankfurt fans playing their part, all white to our right. It looks quite the sight.
Thank you.
Cheers. Let's hope they're not rubbish. In terms of those talents, maybe we should add impressions to the list too.
You ask a lot
Eddie
of
Jones did it. Eddie Jones. I love Eddie Jones. He's so brilliant.
Ask a lot of football fans.
Eddie Jones.
Ask a lot of football fans.
Eddie Jones.
Eddie Jones.
We all do Eddie Jones, don't we?
Him, yeah. And he can move into that inch posticle glue too, we are, mate.
They're pretty similar, really. Yeah. Here's Adrian at the beginning of Arne Slot's reign, before he was familiar with his name.
Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1.
Well, since he's been at Forest, that's all Callum Hudson-Odoi has done. Cut inside from the left and curl it into the corner. Does Arne Slot not know this?
Arne Slot's not known, eh?
Come on, Snotty. Now, has Adrian been taken over by AI?
Teams in the tunnel here at the Bet365. Stoke and West Ham will kick off at 4.
Hang on a minute. That reminds us of something.
Teams in the tunnel here at the Bet365. Stoke and West Ham will kick off at 4.
Exterminate! Spot on, really.
Adrian Dalek. There we go.
Very good.
Now, let's end on Adrian Durham making the talkSPORT management very nervous for a second.
I don't know if you remember it, he just went straight back up, bounced up off his back, straight onto his feet. And I thought, how the hell's he done that? Totally 100% fit, and what a complete and utter athlete.
The only time athlete's ever been used with the term complete and utter.
Yeah, it must have been. Usually something a bit worse. But there we go. That was Clips of the Week. The brilliant Adrian Durham, of course. All of that was thanks to Toolstation.
Clips of the Week on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Next stop, Toolstation.
Oh, some good ones in there. That Melier one, I really did enjoy that.
That's good, yeah.
That Melier, yeah. Now, joining us now is talkSPORT's reporter Angelina Kelly, who's been keeping a keen eye on the women's Euros, of course, for us.
Every game.
Every single game. Yeah, you were telling us, weren't you? Have you missed a game yet?
No, I've actually not. I've watched every single game, and I have no regrets. I know. I have a really interesting life away from talkSPORT. I just can't stop watching football. But no, it's been a good tournament overall. I mean, was watching the Norway game last night. They've already qualified. I mean, Spain though, they look fantastic, and it fills me with dread the idea of England coming up against them this time, because I think they're really, really going to struggle. It's just perfection every time you watch them.
It's like Chelsea against PSG. They'll win easily.
Yeah. England were very good last night, though, weren't they? I mean, the Dutch weren't great, but they did put on a show.
Yeah. England definitely have turned things around. I think people wanted a reaction after that France game because it was so disappointing on so many different levels. But I think, Lauren James, there's a reason why they took her to the Euros, even though she's had that injury. To see her and Georgia Stanway find the back of the net, who have both had really tough injuries earlier on this year, absolutely great to see. Like you say, they've turned things around. They've definitely given England fans a response. But quarterfinals and beyond, you just worry. I think they could potentially come up against Germany in the quarterfinals, which I do fancy them against Germany. But as it gets closer to Spain, it is a bit worrying.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, in the papers this morning, we all know the women's game is coming on leaps and bounds, but news of the first £1 million player. So that's quite an interesting development. But B, tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, so this is Olivia Smith, a Liverpool player. So she's set to become the world's first women's player to break the £1 million transfer barrier. Liverpool have accepted a world record offer from Arsenal. She's a 20-year-old Canadian player. Now, I know that Naomi Girma signed for Chelsea, and so there was a bit of confusion, but that was $1.1 million US. So this is going to trump that. So she joined Liverpool in 2024 for £200,000. So she had a good season. Liverpool came 7th. They came 4th the season before that. So it wasn't the best season. They definitely do need to invest and get some good players. She scored just under a third of their league goals. Wow. So with this deal, Liverpool will receive 5 times what they paid for her 12 months ago. So as much as you're losing a real star, the money that they're going to get, they really do need to invest. The way I look at this, though, with Arsenal, what is going to happen, because she can play as a centre forward, but she does play on the wing, normally on the right. They've just brought Chloe Kelly back officially. You've got Beth Mead as well. I worry for Beth Mead, I'll be completely honest, and what her future looks like. But I think for Arsenal fans, they've been screaming out for the club being more competitive with Chelsea. I mean, they finished 12 points behind Chelsea and they were second in the WSL. Chelsea were unbeaten. And as much as they won the Champions League and it was amazing, the fans want them to be competitive in the WSL, and you know the way that it goes. You mess up 1 or 2 games and you can lose the league in the WSL. So for Arsenal to be competing and getting those big money signings, I think it's a really, positive sign for the club for next season.
Well, I'll tell you what, Lauren Hemp, of course, England forward and Man City forward, was asked about this in the England camp. Here's what she had to say about Olivia Smith.
I think it's the direction that the women's game's going, and it's great to see. I mean, us as players, we're sort of in a bit of a bubble at the moment, so we're not really seeing much of that. But I mean, like I said, we're just focusing on the tournament. But it is great to see, and it's proof that women's footballers are great, and that is the way that the game's going. So long may that continue.
Yeah, and that's coming from a Man City player as well.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the rivals strengthened.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Lauren Hemp's thinking if I do move away from Man City, I mean, she is one of the speediest players you will ever see. But yeah, this is the way that the game's going and the way that it should be going. And like I say, the fact that Arsenal are now joining Chelsea in being, more competitive in the market, I think that's really important. You look at the US was always the hub for women's football. I think the way that it is growing in Europe and it's growing in the UK, I do think with time, the way that people look at the Premier League, I think in women's football, they will be looking at the WSL in that sense as well.
And what about the England-Wales game finally this Sunday?
You know what? When it's a home nation, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, it's a great story for Wales to be in the tournament. The things that they've gone through as well, the crash that happened the other day, that was, really, really awful to even hear about. And when they got that goal the other night, I thought, I was really rooting for them. But this is a must-win game for England. I mean, they've really got to put on a show again. I think you don't want to look at it. You don't want to come out of this group, kind of like with Norway that have already qualified. You look at them and think, apart from the last game, it was a little bit lacklustre. We need as much momentum as possible. We don't want that to happen with England. So I think as much as it is a home nation and you never know what may happen, and some of these players will know each other, I think you've got to go out and really, really compete. I want to see a lot of goals. We know that Serena Vigman doesn't really change things up. I personally would like to see a change, maybe start with Aggie Beaver-Jones over Russo. As much as Russo is a brilliant player, let's start with Beaver-Jones and see what happens. Let's switch things up maybe with the defence. I'm a massive fan of Maya Letizier. I think she's absolutely brilliant. She is still young, but, give her a go in central defence. We'll see. But, yeah, a really big game, and hopefully England can finish the group on a positive note.
Yeah, that game will be live on talkSPORT as well this Sunday with kick-off at 8 o'clock. It's approaching the next game, Angelina, so you better get on.
I know. I've got to hurry up.
Well, enjoy that, and thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
There we go, Angelina Kelly. Let's go back to Lords, shall we? Because we're approaching tea. In fact, it might be tea already, Sam Ellard.
Yep, tea on day 2. England resumed the afternoon session 353 for 7, but weren't able to add too many runs in the afternoon session. India picking up the final 3 wickets quite quickly. There was enough time though for Bryden Cars to pass his first test match century. Jasprit Bumrah picked up 1 of the 3 wickets. He's got himself onto the Lord's honours ball wickets. Figures of 5 for 74. Mohammad Siraj wrapped up the tail, taking the last 2 wickets. England bowled out for 387. Chris Woakes took the first over. Then the moment we've been waiting for a long time, over 4 years. Jofra Archer back playing test match cricket. It took him all of 3 balls to pick up his first wicket, getting a sharp Shah as well for 13. A 4 ball that moved into the left-hander, took the outside edge. Good catch by Harry Brook at second slip. He bowled 5 overs, Archer, figures of 1 for 16. Quite a few deliveries in excess of 90 miles an hour. One bumper to KRI was clocked at 93 miles an hour. But India get to tea on 44 for 1. KRI has 13, Karen Nair has 18. Last ball in the afternoon session, a beauty from Woakes, that just length ball that moved away from KRI and just missed the outside edge. A really good, intriguing contest here at Lords. Tea on day 2, India 44 for 1, trailing by 343 runs.
Cheers, Sam. Great stuff. In just a moment, Ben Jacobs is going to join us to go through some of the big transfer stories of the day, including Forest not being happy with the transfer, or the potential transfer, of Gibbs White to Tottenham. He'll also give us the latest on Madueke going to Arsenal from Chelsea. This is Clink and Jacobs on talkSPORT in partnership with Toolstation. Get thousands of products delivered to you with fast...
He plays that villain role very well now. It's crying out for a little bit more attention. It comes with a lot of crazy people. I took it personally and it kind of made me rebel a bit more. To be honest, I don't really care anymore. I'm never going to change.
Remember, TalkSport Drive is coming up after us from 4 o'clock with Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent. This is Clink and Jacobs on TalkSport. I'm Ollie Clink in for Paul Hawksbee this afternoon. Now, there's been plenty of transfer activity. As soon as Alex Crook got back from holiday, it all started kicking off.
It's all down to him.
It did, yeah. We'll get an update on that in just a moment. First, though, let's go back to Wimbledon for the latest in the men's semi-final. Lisa O'Sullivan.
Carlos Alcaraz is in control of this and back in front, taking that third set 6-3. Taylor Fritz was serving to save the second set. Handful of errors from him at the wrong time, and it's the Spaniard who's back in front, bringing shot variety, a sense of curiosity. He's getting a lot of support from his team in the corner of centre court, where it is very hot. It is over 30 degrees once again. Plenty of empty seats as spectators take the advice of the club to take a break from the sun. So Taylor Fritz serving 1-2 down in the fourth set, and he trails Carlos Alcaraz 2-1.
Lisa, thanks very much indeed. Now let's get the latest from the world of transfers with TalkSport's very own Ben Jacobs. Ben, how are you?
Lovely.
Oh, good stuff.
I gather they've granted Nani Madueke permission to leave the camp to, undertake the medical and for completing the Arsenal switch. That's quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, £52 million package. It's a 5-year contract. Madueke will not be part of the Club World Cup final. He'll fly to Arsenal to formalise that deal. And from Arsenal's perspective, they get somebody that can compete with Saka on the right or maybe move over to the left. It's a separate transfer to a potential pursuit of Eberechi Eze. We know Rodrigo's been linked on the left-hand side, but I think Gabriel Martinelli or Leandro Trossard would have to leave if they're to basically add a right wing or a left wing or an attacking midfielder and a number 9 as well. But Arsenal's window is really getting going, and after Madueke is formalised, we'll see them turn their attention once again to seeing if they can get Victor Gyökeres over the line.
I think it's a good deal for both clubs, this. For Chelsea, it's a £32 million profit, and they've got Estevao, who looks tremendous to play that position. So they've got a ready-made, already bought replacement. And for Arsenal, he's a strong, reliable player, and he's done well for England. So I think it's one of those deals, I think both. Although Arsenal fans are not that happy, Ben, I think.
Well, I think there's just a perception, isn't there, that you've had Havertz, Jorginho, Kepa, now Noni Madueke, and it can feel with Big Six clubs when they do business, if you poach one, maybe a little bit underwhelming at times because there's maybe a wrong assumption that the player is always surplus to requirements. It's not always the case, but we've got to put some respect on Noni Madueke's name here. He's a top talent, and Enzo Maresca likes the player. So the fact he's leaving is, as you say, probably down to the fact that Esteval was already pre-agreed. Pedro Neto's been in sensational form. So the number Chelsea are getting suits all parties to do the deal. And although there is criticism of certain players that have gone from Chelsea to Arsenal in recent times, we mustn't forget that Kepa was once the world's most expensive goalkeeper, and he's not played a single game for Arsenal, so you can't really be angry about that. Jorginho was very effective before leaving for Flamengo, and Kai Havertz's actual goal-scoring numbers are still strong, even though maybe he's a bit more divided amongst the Arsenal fan base.
That's saying something,
Well, true, but remember that he was played in different positions as an attacking midfielder for his country as a fullback as well.
I don't rate him, sorry, but there you go. I never have.
A lot of money, though, as well.
But I think the big thing is that point, and it is a good point, the money side. So perhaps if Noni Madueke was 40 million, Arsenal fans would say, great, that warrants an investment in competition for Bukayo Saka. But because you're talking about 52 and 75 odd million for Havertz, these are fees that suggest either a starter or a really important player. And that's why maybe Arsenal fans are thinking, if you got Nwaneri and Saka, could you actually put that 52 towards Rodrigo and buy a starting left winger instead? They might still, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I think Chelsea still do some business because I think they're going to sell Jackson. Yeah, I think he's lost the trust of the squad. You could see the other night when he came on what he did and with the way they reacted to him. And you know,
and
we'll
Kunku
see.
maybe as well from Chelsea, potentially as a sell. Ben, what is the latest with the situation with Morgan Gibbs-White? Because Nottingham Forest very unhappy with the way that Spurs approached him, and they're threatening a bit of legal action, we understand.
Yeah, it's a crazy saga. Yesterday, Tottenham thought the deal was all agreed and they planned to trigger the release clause. So they communicated that to Nottingham Forest. Everyone went to bed. This morning, Gibbs-White was waiting to go and do a medical scheduled for this afternoon, only to find that Nottingham Forest have made a written complaint to the Premier League and have informed Spurs in writing that their belief is Tottenham haven't triggered this release clause properly. And there's a dispute around how they knew about it, because much like the Crystal Palace ones with Eberechi Eze now and in the past Michael Olise, the only way that you can find out about what's known as a threshold release clause is by going through the front door to Nottingham Forest. In other words, a situation materialises where if you don't tell the club that you want the player, but you know about the release clause, you must have got that release clause from someone close to the player side. And that's not allowed in Forest's eyes because the release clause is not necessarily public knowledge. So you bid, if you reach a certain threshold, you learn about the release clause by speaking to the club. Tottenham's approach, allegedly according to Forest, was to go via the player. So Forest are now disputing this and saying, a bit like when Chelsea signed or thought they had Michael Olise a few years ago, the mechanism for finding out about the clause and triggering it has not been carried out by the book. Spurs sources deny that. They're still hopeful the deal will get done, but it's in limbo for now. And Morgan Gibbs-White does not currently have permission to undergo his Spurs medical.
No, but it's very difficult. Once a player's made up his mind, it's impossible to keep him. I mean, what state would he be in if he had to stay there? So we'll see anyway.
Yeah.
It'll unfold.
Ben, we also heard about a potential move for Jordan Henderson to Brentford this morning. How far along is that one?
Yeah, that's done. It's agreed in principle. I'm expecting it to be finalised over the weekend. I think Jordan Henderson is very respectful and conscious of the sad situation with Diogo Jota and Andre Silva and doesn't necessarily want to announce his next move after leaving Ajax in the immediate aftermath. It's likely that we'll see a very emotional friendly game against Preston. All of that will get out the way. Henderson will be incredibly respectful of that, and he is in contact with Diogo Jota's family, and then the announcement will come at an appropriate time, but the deal is all agreed, a 2-year contract. He left Ajax. He knew his next destination, I'm told, when he decided he wasn't going to take up the option to extend at Ajax. And now he's back in the Premier League, and it's a good move for all parties. It gives Henderson the chance to play Premier League football and keep himself firmly in Thomas Tuchel's plans.
And just quickly, Ben, what's the latest with Victor Gyökeres? We're hearing that he may not have turned up for training with Sporting Lisbon.
He hasn't turned up to training, and Sporting have written to Gyökeres and said he must come tomorrow. And Gyökeres has said, no, I'm basically going on strike. And I think Arsenal have waited for this day because this was the first date, Friday, when Gyökeres was supposed to return. So they made their last bid 65 plus 15 or thereabouts. Sporting counted and said 70 plus 10, and Andrea Berta just flew back and didn't call off the deal because it's very advanced and there's optimism, but he delayed making an improved offer, or maybe even just sticking to his guns. And I think it helps Arsenal to have Gyökeres hit this deadline, not show up, likely not show up tomorrow. We don't know what the consequences of that. Caicedo left Brighton and went to London and waited for the clubs to work.
Oh, might have just lost
Gyökeres if he does the negotiation. So we've heard a lot in the last week that the deal is off, it's delayed, it's stalled. I actually think Andrea Berta is playing this one perfectly. I think waiting.
Okay,
there we go.
Good.
Yeah,
well,
there we go.
Perfectly, and something else, but there we go.
Yeah, there we go. Andy, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Yes, well
Thanks
done.
very much indeed. You can catch up on the show, by the way, with the H&J Daily podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, if you've missed any of today. And, of course, you can hear the Clips of the Week, Adrian Durham special, if you missed any of that as well. Thanks for your company this afternoon. Coming up next here on talkSPORT, don't go anywhere. It's Drive with Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent.